Hello, everybody. Welcome to Crimes Time Live. I'm your host, Crimes Trzynski, and this is the DMP Epilogue, sort of. I have to adjust some things on screen because it suddenly Bro's art window was covering everyone's lovely faces. Hello. Let me know if there are any audio issues or anything like that. Guys, say hello.
Hi, everyone. I am Ferdinand Von Ayer.
Yes, there's a lot of people here. So I'm gonna real quick. Oh, Jesus Christ. We have a lot to go over. So first I'm gonna go on down the list and say who's here, starting with one Bro Dingles, who is doing the art today.
Hi, I'm doing the art today.
You are. We've got a Cammy Cat.
Oh, sisters, I'm back from war.
Oh my god.
She's back.
She's back from war. We've got a Jordan.
I thought we were done. I thought we were finished.
You will never be done.
I live in a different state now. I thought we were done.
Nope.
He's trying to escape.
We've got a Queen Creeps.
Vincent, I made biscuits.
We've got a Juno.
Hi guys, welcome to Discord Murder Party Season 5.
Fuck off! Fuck you! No!
This is the part where the new god takes over and everybody dies.
No. Okay, we've got an Alex.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
It's gonna be a lot of these, I think.
Yeah. We've got a Scott.
I'm in the future, Miss M. I'm in the future, and it's fucking nuked.
We've got a JoJo.
To this day, Thorin still hasn't opened that can of beans that the doctor gave him.
So he hasn't.
He never will.
He hasn't eaten for a whole year and 4 months.
No beans for the child.
No beans or nothing.
Oh my god.
The child doesn't like beans.
We've got an Uprising.
Hi. I don't know what to say. I'm never good at these. I hate these.
You're doing great. We've got a Split Guardian.
Okay, all right, yep, I'm back, kids. Let's get in one quick one for old time's sake.
The classics.
Wow.
Classics.
We've got a Darby.
Hello, campers, and welcome to the Blindish Deltarune Chapter 2.
No!
Time to play the first few hours, which we played months ago, but I barely remember RIP playthrough of Deltarune Chapter 2.
I forgot to change the Twitch title.
You
you did.
unprofessional screamer.
You know, what can I say? All of my sense of professionalism has really gone out the door now that I no longer have others to check me on my shit. I get to be the disaster I was always meant to be.
Hey, Chris!
now
I didn't expect to see you back so soon.
Now that you don't have Alex chained in your basement.
Yeah. Just Alex sitting here like, oh, what's that? Is it harder without all of my difficult efforts? Is that what's going on here, Kristen?
Yeah.
Did
you get I am understanding.
Did you get unchained, anyways?
You did a lot. I didn't need failure to prove it.
Wow.
Okay, but how did you get unchained, anyways?
So I'm sensing a lot of tension.
No, okay, no, first of all, no chains can hold Alex Beckham. He's there of his own volition. I can't
He
make
is, in
him
fact,
do
the man on the
anything.
internet.
Okay, anyway.
I'm very powerful.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so, DMP Epilogue. So, when I said there was going to be an epilogue, I may have been in a state of work-induced bipolar mania that may have convinced me that we could maybe do another episode, and I'd say I don't know why I thought that, but I started this sentence with a state of work-induced bipolar mania, so I think that explains a lot. Some may call it hubris, I call it mental illness. But anyway,
Icarus.
mine is a state of constant Icarusdom. So, instead of doing, like, a whole... And then I was like, maybe we'll just improv some scenes, but you know what? Post-DMP burnout real. We're all very tired. So instead of like doing a whole episode, we're just gonna spend some time telling you guys what happened. Oh, I just realized we're gonna have lo-fi. Can someone get me lo-fi?
You got it, Kristen.
Get it yourself.
It's gonna be a long night.
Please, time to get night running poison roulette on repeat.
This is why I was recruited back.
Alex, God fucking damn it!
What did you expect him to do? What did you think I was gonna do?
We got Donkey
yeah,
Kong
we're
lo-fi.
Now we're back. We're really back. But right, so what we're gonna do is basically everyone gets like about 12, 13 minutes to talk about like their epilogue. So everyone takes their turns talking, and if you're not involved, if you are not directly involved with the epilogue, you cannot say anything. If anyone in this call wants to say something, they raise their hands, and then I say, "Yes, would you like to say things?" And that's how we're gonna do things, so we don't all talk over each other for 3 hours straight.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And anyway, on that note, first of all, oh, hang on, let me pull up my notes. We're really well organized here. Have I told you guys I'm really tired? Because I'm really tired. There's a lot of things occurring. Right, so first and foremost, I think first I'd mention some basic ground rules. First of all, we're not going to be telling you guys about Chaos Van, because that's its own show. You don't need to hear about Chaos Van. That's its own thing, so you get very little information. If it comes up organically and I feel like talking about it, sure, but if it doesn't, oh well. Right, so, general rules here are the Awakened, first of all, they can't get in the van to go visit each other. Charlie can carry letters via the van, and she always makes sure these letters arrive concurrently in people's timelines. So, you know, if Vincent were to write Juniper a letter 5 months after he gets back in his timeline, then Charlie would make sure Juniper got that letter 5 months after he came back from the void. This is the only way they can communicate with each other unless they happen to meet the long way. See, you know, old man Vincent meets Grace Garden after she survived World War II. Good for her. So that's neat. Charlie knows when each Awakened is supposed to die and has a connection with them, so she can tell if they're in danger, but she'll only intervene if called or if the Awakened are gonna die before their time. This gets abused constantly because multiple Awakened keep acting like they're still immortal and they have superpowers. Stop laughing like a gremlin, Split!
I'm just saying.
This one has superpowers.
Okay, yeah, but you say that like Ezra isn't one of the people constantly nearly getting himself killed or dying before his time.
Listen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, so, on that note, I think... Oh yeah, one final thing, because I'm not gonna wait till the end for this. Basically, everyone, so they can meet each other in their timelines if, you know, they go the long way, but also, once they all die, at the very end, Charlie sets up a big ol', like, Awakened reunion at the end of time. So once everyone dies, they go to this fun little reunion, and all of their families get to meet, and everyone gets to catch up and see how things have been, and it's really nice. And then Charlie's like, all right, great, so, you know, I'm glad we had this was great. I'll definitely come visit you guys in your respective afterlives. Of course, as far as I know, none of them are going to hell, but I guess, you know, surprise me. But, so Charlie's like, so I'm supposed to take you to the afterlife now, like, this was a big favor that I just called in. And Vincent and Abby are really like, what are you talking about? We're going with you on your cool god adventures. Mm-hmm. And thus opens the can of worms. Some of the Awakened get to ascend and be some sort of demigod immortal being, and others go on to the afterlife. That's just there. That's canon for folks to say whether or not their character does that. Yes. I think that hits all the basics. I guess I'll fill things in as we go. On that note, I wanted to go kind of from the start, I guess I'm gonna start with Steven and Vivi, because that's what I have on my list. So, Steven and Vivi, you're first.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Wow, I did not expect to go first in Awakening order. Okay, cool.
I don't know, you ended up being do you want to go later?
I'm looking at the document. Everyone else is in awakening order. I'm just like.
I put Steven and Vivi at the start, and I'm not sure why I put Steven and Vivi at the start.
I don't know either.
Do you want me to move them?
So that we're not confused about awakening order, sure.
Sure. Well, they're going to the end of the document.
Okay.
We're organized in this house.
Have I told you guys that I've been very tired? Because I've been very, very tired. Right, so on that note, that means first is one Vincent Marshall Reed, because we're going in awakening order. So,
we're going in awakening order.
Sibling, shall we begin?
Hello, sibling.
Hello, sibling.
Okay,
Oh, so,
boy, chat, we got some shit for you.
Oh my god. So I was writing a bit about this. I don't know if I'll ever actually finish writing that, though. I'd like to, but we'll see how it goes. But the basics is, of course, Charlie goes to visit the Reed family house for that dinner, as she said she was going to. And the first thing Abby does is slap this tiny disaster across the face for hurting her husband. And then she immediately realized, oh no, I've just punched an abuse victim. Oh, you dumb babe, come in here.
Yep. Fucking, basically, when Vinny got home, he had that look that most people would assume is like, oh yeah, no, he just came from war. Of course he's got that fucking 1,000-yard stare and shit like that. But, it was distinctly different in the sense of just like he's so happy to be alive and all this kind of shit, but also he's not really sure about the church anymore and he's kind of casually blaspheming.
He's just like sits down with his wife. So gods are real, and
like straight up one night, just fully transparent with her. Like, let me tell you some shit because I cannot lie to you. And tells her all about like the void, the fucking about Charlie, all the ups, all the downs, all the bullshit, all of the people, everything.
Yes.
Shows her the picture, everything. And poor Abby is having to absorb all of this as a good Christian woman, a wonderful mother, a wife of a household, and she's sitting there as her husband is casually blaspheming and describing impossible things and literally saying that he came from, like, he sold his soul to the devil and then came home from hell. And she's just sitting here like, oh no, my husband's broken.
He lost his mind.
He lost the horrors of war, or they took my husband.
But gradually she accepts that it happened. You would have to accept it once the tiny god shows up at your door for dinner.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then tiny god shows up at his door for dinner, and oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Abby was mad.
Yeah.
You know, there's tons of prefacing of just like, look, I know everything that I've described to you is horrific, but truly she's changed. And all, just trying so hard to convince the one person who could get Vincent Marshall Reed to like stop. The one person who could truly get the unrelenting force to stop is, you know, that's a feat in of itself. And so she smacks the shit out of Charlie, sees like every flinch and every Charlie has like a little breakdown, and it's just the saddest shit, and she's like, fine! God damn it! Just, come on! Dinner's getting cold.
Jesus. So yeah, Charlie keeps visiting, and little by little, like, Abby, she really grows on one Abigail Reed, and Abigail Reed starts to notice, she's like, first of all, oh no, I think I really like this girl, actually. This is especially spurred on by the fact that Vincent Marshall Reed has no sense of self-preservation. He keeps forgetting he's not immortal, he keeps fucking dying, and Charlie and Oz have to keep picking him up and bringing his soul back, because he's not supposed to die until he's, like, 95.
He gets kicked out of like several afterlives.
Yes.
Like, he refuses to go into heaven because he doesn't trust God.
Well,
so
he's not supposed to go in anyway! He keeps getting killed at age like 28, falling off a fucking grain silo, and Charlie's just like, you live until 93! Stop! And Vincent's like, well, what do I have to fear? And Charlie's just like, you have a wife and kids to support!
Listen, someone needed to make the thing. I'm not just gonna not do work.
God. So yeah, Vincent dies multiple times, is constantly getting kicked out of afterlives until Charlie comes to pick him up, like he's getting picked up from fucking daycare. By the end of it, he is now infamous amongst like the gods as that bitch.
Yeah, that bitch. Vincent Marshall Reed. We all know him. We all hate him.
Yeah.
Fucking literally sat outside the pearly gates, refused to walk inside. They were like, fine, fuck it, sit out there. See if we care.
See if we care. We don't.
Next time, like, goes to Valhalla, gets kicked out for being too rowdy, quote unquote. Fucking next time goes to Hades. Hades just doesn't want to fucking deal with it at all. He heard all of the shit from fucking Odin. He's like, no, fuck you, dude. Like, you can sit in the water.
God, but yes. So Abby's like, oh, you keep saving my husband. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that you care. I really care about you. Wait a minute. Can see the tension between Charlie and Vincent, but she's like, but Vinny would never cheat. He's too fucking loyal. And then Abby thinks, so here's the thing. Abigail Reed is bisexual, and she has been waiting this whole time. She's like, someday that man's eye is gonna wander, because men's eyes always wander, and when it finally wanders, I will get to kiss a girl. And so, but of course, Vincent Marshall Reed is the most loyal man alive, so he'll never, ever, ever have his eye wander, but finally, it is wandering a bit, because he met a god and he thought he wasn't coming back, but he still never cheated. He's just, had a crush and didn't act on it. And Abby sees this, and she's just like, there's a thing happening here. And I also really like this tiny disaster. I think I might love this tiny disaster woman. So one day, she's just kind of, floats it to Vincent, who is just like, and she's like, you go put the kids to bed. I'm gonna have a talk with Charlie.
I'm gonna go get the wine.
Yeah. Abby just sits there, and she's like, so I couldn't help but notice you keep looking at my husband. Charlie spits out her wine. Oh, darn. Now you're gonna have to clean up my floor. Just have like, it just seems like you might owe me. Vincent. It's
truly, once Abigail Reed puts her mind to something, much like her husband, she just really cannot be stopped. Yes. And Abby, having wanted this exact thing for so long, been waiting for her fucking actual golden retriever dog of a fucking husband to finally look at somebody else, and just never does. It took.
Sorry, I need to describe this.
God.
Sleepy says Abby is an opportunist apex hunter, and I care. Correct.
That is, yeah, pretty much, absolutely, 100%.
Yes. So basically, Abby's just like, oh, you brought me a pet god. That's so nice of you. Wow, what a wonderful husband.
It takes some adjusting. Yeah. It takes for Vinny. He's like questioning himself for a minute, because he's like, I actually am super into this little disaster. My wife is calling me. Is this a trick? Am I gonna be killed? Like,
is this a trick? Is this a trap?
Like, what is this? What is your plan? What are you doing? Like, because is they do that. They do this this whole back and forth. Their whole relationship is a fight, and it's beautiful. So, you know, the age-old question is finally answered. It's finally answered. They do be fucking.
They do. Correct. We can finally.
So y'all fucking?
Charlie?
Yeah. Yeah, we are.
But yeah, so they get together, and they're together for a long time. And over the years, first of all, like, so Charlie's there, like, fairly often, including weird shit. Like, okay, so I, Charlie, am going to go on a little vacation with you two, but also I, Charlie, from the future, will be coming to babysit your kids at the same time, because I'm a god and I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, we only have, like, 3 minutes, so we gotta try to, like, tighten this up here.
Fuck, okay, so, put it down in basic terms. Kids call out Charlie for fucking their parents because they're smart.
Yeah, they figure it out, like, a couple years
literally start calling her stepmom.
Yeah.
About 5 years into the polycule relationship, ta-da, proposal. Like, it's wrapped up. And also, Vinny, using all of his future knowledge, becomes fucking rich. Like, just invests in all of the correct things. He paid attention to all of the future lingo when he was in the fucking void. And set up a fund for literally not only his own family to be set forever, but, like, literally every single Awakened has a fund waiting for them for when they come back.
The Reed Fund for the Awakened. Yay!
The Reed Family Awakened Fund.
Yes.
Everybody's pretty much set for life. Like,
indeed.
But
yeah.
I think that's it.
Vincent,
I think that's it. Wrapped up.
We did mention Vincent does encounter one Stephen McGillicuddy. We're not giving any details because Stephen McGillicuddy is free to live his own goddamn life. But Millie and Abby arm wrestle. This is an important detail that we need to talk about.
A very important detail. I am biased. I can't say who wins. They just have to do it, and one day the universe will implode.
They just arm wrestle until the universe implodes. Yes. Let's see here. But as I mentioned, Vincent and Abby are the ones who go, what are you talking about? We're not going to the afterlife. We're going with you. So they're confirmed for Ascension. When they finally ascend and they go to the Cosmic Office to deal with the paperwork, first of all, the Cosmic Office fucking hates Charlie. There's one clerk who's constantly stuck dealing with them. She hates it. Yes, they did get her marriage certificate. It's there somewhere. Oh my god, but here's the thing. Once they ascend, everyone's like, oh, Charlie, so you're Vincent Marshall Reed's wife!
Literally so infamous that he overshadows, like, the fucking breakout black star that's changing how gods work. Like,
yeah, like, goddess of storytelling has done all this shit, dealing with the Black Stars. Former Black Star broke away from the big fucking deal, gone through multiple seasons of Chaos Van. So much shit has happened. In spite of all that, everyone's like, oh wow, you're Vincent Marshall Reed's wife.
Oh, you're Vinny's wife.
And then it's like, but what about? Oh, that's Abigail Reed. Abigail Reed gets to be Abigail Reed.
We all know about Abigail Reed.
Yes.
You know, fucking, like, Vinny's Abby's husband. Like,
God.
It's like, then Charlie is just their spouse. It's like, all right, you're the god half of the Reed family. But yeah, I think that wraps that up.
It does.
As much as I want to continue to scream.
We could all, you know, if we end up having time at the end, we'll have free space where everyone can yell over each other. But we gotta move on. So thank you, sibling. We are moving on to one Queen Creeps.
Oh, hi. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
All right. Jesus, I'm scared.
It's okay. You've got this. I believe in you, wife.
Thank you. Okay, so Gracebrook Garden returns home she and Graham have a very long talk where they both decide, listen, the war's ended. I don't want to be a detective. Can I please just go to Scotland? And Graham's like, you know what? Yes, it's all right. I will send you with my blessing. So she packs her stuff. She takes the chair. She gets on a train and she finds a cottage in Scotland. And soon when she gets there, she goes to the University of Dundee and she makes a nice little friend circle. Who those friends are, haven't got a clue. Feel free to come up with something in the chat. But yeah, she stays there. She kind of lives a sort of isolated life. She lives in a kind of like isolated cottage, but it's nice, it's quiet, and that's what she needs, which is really sweet. But she still has her friend circle, and she does adopt 2 dogs called Alistair after her dad and Juniper after Juniper. And down the line, unfortunately, dogs being dogs, they pass away. So when Charlie and Ozzelfog eventually visit, Ozzy's just like, well, stop being sad, just get another dog. And then the next time he comes back, she's got 10 dogs. So she just keeps adopting dogs all her life.
It's okay, you can get a new one. Comes next time, all these dogs immediately tackle this woman who is smaller than them.
What? You said get a new one.
One!
I had the space. Yes, she becomes the protagonist of 101 Dalmatians. Oh, I love it. But yes, she eventually she does her undergrad and she graduates. Then she does her masters and graduates again. And then she starts writing a bit. She starts publishing like little short stories, and then eventually she writes her first book. And then after about 3-4 books is when like she starts really picking up on popularity, and she does eventually become best-selling. She has a Wikipedia page when the internet exists. And that Wikipedia page constantly points out, whenever there's a very special event happening that she hosts at house, the chair is always there. So whenever she's at interviews, she's always questioned, so what's the deal with that chair, which does not match your house at all? And she's just like, it's my inspirational chair. It's like, me, that, we have a connection. And it's like, I kind of decided, I originally thought like, you know, she wouldn't sit on the chair. Like, maybe that's a step too far, but now I'm like, no, when she's in the writing zone, she'd sit on the chair. It's like, you and me, Kato, this is a collaborative effort.
God.
Oh, goodness. But yeah, so all that happens, and she lives a really good life. I imagine that down the line she gets a letter from Vincent and they get in contact, which is really sweet. And then when she hits her 30s, she goes to visit Percy, and they get in contact and they become like little rocking chair buddies when they get older.
Aww.
Best buds. And then comes 1975, where Grace's, I think at this point, released about 8 or 9 books. She's 52. And she has this sort of big phase of really missing Juniper. The person, not the dog. She misses the dog, though. And she's kind of reflecting, like, how his life was, their connection, all of this. And then one day, she wakes up, sits up, and just says, you know what? I want to adopt a child. So she goes to an orphanage, and they're just like, oh, well, that's nice. Well, come here. Like, all the little kids are down here. And she's like, no, I want a teenager. And they're like, no one adopts teenagers. And she sees this boy who's just, like, cleaning the corridors, sweeping, and she's like, what about that one? So she has a lovely chat with this boy. This is Dominic Lawrence. And she brings him home.
Aww.
Now, the problem with this is that she brings him home with no context on anything about her life. Like, he kind of is aware that she's an author. But the first thing she does is, like, he spots the chair, points it out, and she's like, oh yeah, that used to be a person. And then he's just like, okay, she's pulling my leg. Not even, I think, a month later is when the gods visit. And he has to open the door to this multicolored freak and this little kid. And it's just like, is Grace home?
And he's all like, yeah, let me go get Mummy. Mummy's like,
Mommy! So it's just like, Grace comes to the door and it's just like, oh, hi, yes, this is my son. It's just like, I was just like, so you went to an orphanage. Yes, and I adopted a child. And they let you.
And they let you. They let you have children? Cameron, you raised your hand.
I just imagine hearing that first sentence. He just goes, "Oh, so you're crazy."
Yeah.
That's his first response.
It's like the fear. It's kind of just like, have I genuinely been adopted by a man or woman? Until he meets the gods and he's like, oh, shite.
As if that wouldn't make him think that they're more like. I would assume meeting Charlie and Oz would just be more like, oh, my mom is a mad woman.
God. But it's like, they do have like a full, like, genuine connection. It's like, Dominic's very curious, and he's not much of like a fictional writer, but like Grace puts him in school, puts him through university, and he's kind of inspired by like her note-taking thing, so he ends up becoming a journalist.
Nice.
And then down the line, he meets a lovely woman called Alice Wonders, and one day he trots up to Grace and just says, Mummy, I think I really want to propose to Alice. And Grace just goes, well, statistics say that this is going to end in a 10% chance of one of you murdering each other, but you do what makes you happy, son. So with that lovely motivation in mind, they get married, and they have two twin children, Bonnie and Burke. And Grace has a dismal reaction to finding out she's becoming a grandmother. But it's one of those things where, like, you know, when they bring a puppy home and the dad's just like, take it back, and then they fall in love with it within a day. So. And she has a big connection with Burke, especially because Burke is just like, you'll see the art in a second, but he's just a grump. And she's just like, ah, yes, you and me, we have a connection. Oh, goodness. But yeah, it's, other things as well. Like, eventually she takes the whole family to America for, like, I think at first it's a book signing, but then she figures out where Juniper is. But the thing is with that is that she tells her kids in advance, and she's never told any of the Waken that she has a son. So Juniper's just working one day, and all of a sudden this like tiny little Scottish child just trots up saying, "Oh, hi, Juniper!" And then it's just like, just Juniper's with the dominant child. Like, have I met you? And he's like, no, but you've met my mommy, and I think she wants to meet you again. He just looks, and Grace is in the corner reading a book, slowly lowers it, just like, hello.
Imagine seeing you here.
Fancy seeing you. But yeah, she has a lovely, like, she becomes best-selling, she sets her family up, she has a lovely little cottage. Dominic has a really good life with his family. In terms of who else she meets, I imagine very later in her life she would find the Doctor again. They'd keep a letter correspondence, and then she'd eventually meet him. And ages back, I posted some art in the fan server of Steven Jr., like, just to show off the design. What I didn't tell people is that the other person in the picture was Dominic, because I figured they had a 3-year age gap, and I was like, okay, if this does happen, these two need to meet. Oh, there's a connection. But then Grace eventually does pass away in 2008, and to the Awaken that she couldn't meet, Dominic does go and, like, give her final book to them. And it's nice.
Aww.
But again, she never told anyone that she had a son, so it's a bit of a surprise. But no, it's lovely. And if you want to picture his voice, I kind of head cast Darby. Scottish Darby. Yeah.
Scottish Darby.
But yeah, it's just a nice little thing. But in terms of the god thing at the end, the demigod thing, Grace hears the suggestion, is just like, fuck no! I'd regret it within 5 minutes! Bugger off! So she's all set to leave, but then Dominic's there, and Dominic over the years made like a, you know, genuine connection with Charlie and Ozzelthog, so he decides, well, can I stay? Because you know, I'm a journalist, I'm the note taker, I feel like I could help you. And so I kind of joke that he's like the archival demigod because he just like.
Listen, that would be helpful. I was talking with Split today about the fact that basically Vinny and Abby show up and they're just like Abby is like big, you know, the organizational person. Like, okay, so where's your paperwork? Charlie just opens up the glove compartment of her new van and just piles of paper. I'm sure Abby could use the help.
Oh, I love it. So, the only poor issue of this whole situation is when Grace dies, she passes the chair to Dominic, who in turn passes it to either Bonnie or Buck, and it keeps being passed down until one day Charlie shows up to one of the descendants and they're just like, oh, I sold it.
You what?
Yeah, I sold it to the pawn shop.
Why?
Well, I wasn't using it.
For $5.99.
For $5.99.
Did you...
$5.99?
At the pawn shop.
It's an evil sorcerer. I feel that... You were told it was an evil sorcerer, right?
Well, I thought that was just one of the stories.
No! So then Charlie has to, like, do a full-on fetch quest to try to find this thing. One of those you have to go to 10 different people and get shit for them to try to figure out where this fucking chair is. She goes through all of this shit, finally gets the fucking chair, and then Oz is just like, you know what? We could have just gone back in time and grabbed the chair before it was sold.
Oh god. And then one day in the demigod group, Dominic just shows up with the chair. They're like, where did you get that? I found it.
I gave that to Zeffy. Zeffy ate
Yes.
it. Zeffy, I
Yes.
gave it to Zeffy to eat.
Well, she didn't want it, so I took it back. Listen, it's fine! He'll just come on our adventures.
God. I don't
I
want
promise
him.
I'll take him
No,
on walks.
I don't want him in my car!
We can attach him to the top. Maybe we can attach him on string at the back.
No. I don't want him in my car. I'm involved in a bunch of god bullshit. I don't want to risk him being unchairified.
Right, we'll put him in hammer space.
Split, you raised your hand.
I was just gonna say, you fucking this lad. I love this lad so much. He is more than welcome at the whatever domain that the Reeds end up making in Infinity. Like he will have his own space. Your Graces, absolutely. You have a room. Like hold on. Now you have your own room now. Like.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Charlie would not let you keep the chair. You're not allowed to take the chair on the van. I'm sorry, she would draw the line there because here's the thing with that stupid chair. As long as it's present, that's a big ol' plot potential. That's a sealed evil sorcerer in a can.
Oh, yeah.
Keep a sealed evil sorcerer in a can around a god of stories, he is going to get away from the can. Zeffy's eating him and he's gone. That's it. That's the rule.
R.I.P. That's the rule.
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
All right. On that note, that time is up. So, Tommy doesn't get 13 minutes because Adric's not here. But it's okay. There isn't much to add for Tommy. Tommy, Fluffy Nights does really well. Tommy and Angelina are YouTubers. We made a joke about Tommy and Angelina divorcing 3 times for the clickbait, but I don't think they actually do it for real. It is very funny, though. Yeah. And, Tommy hangs out with the modern folks. That's all we got for Tommy, just so you know. Alright, so next is, Percy. AKA one
Okay,
scoffed
Jesus.
you.
Okay, Jesus Christ, you're making me follow Queen. Okay, that's fine.
You know how the Awakening Order works!
I know, but you think I put that much thought into it?
That's
God.
okay, that's what I'm here for! I'm here to help you!
Okay, well, anyways, so, Percy decides to keep what he learned during his time in the Void himself. Not because he doesn't trust his sister, it's just that, well, if Riley, if she thought Percy was going insane, she would kick him into next week, and I mean, even with the new inheritance, thanks to Uncle Vinny, they would not be able to afford to send another Blackwood to a mental institute at any point. That said, Percy does have an entirely separate art journal dedicated to Charlie and the others, and his other friends, in addition to other things he remembers during his time in the Void. Riley would eventually find it in his desk much later, and they would have a long and arduous talk and hug it out, and then she would kick Percy's ass.
So I kinda sorta, thought I was in a dream with the devil, and I thought the devil was offering me a break, and I thought I was gonna come back.
No, it was all just a dream. You don't need to know much about you. You know about it. I didn't think you would get this far. Okay.
Okay.
Please don't hurt me.
No.
But Percy would eventually start making leeway towards a career as a professional artist. Pardon me.
The fun surprise Charlie was talking about when she sent Percy
Yes.
off is his paintings take off, like, really fast.
That said, he does still feel like he has a lot to learn, so he ends up taking night classes at a local community college. Thanks to the funds that they received, and they even receive a government grant for going into school with deceased parents.
I mean, he would get money also, because he would get money from the Reed Foundation.
Very true, very true. So he definitely starts improving on his own work. And then one day, Percy and Riley are at the farmer's market selling their wares along with, some of Percy's paintings. Just doing the stuff, whatever. And as Percy is restocking the stand, he accidentally bumps into somebody, and they, both frantically start apologizing to one another, helping to pick up one another's things. Some paintings, probably a textbook or two, whatever. And when Percy looks up, he sees that the person he bumped into was this really beautiful girl. Tall, blonde hair, all princessy-like. She looks to be about the same age as Percy. And, after some awkward stammering between the two, they begin to strike up a conversation with each other. The girl's name is Helena Linfield. She's about 20 years old, so only a year behind Percy. She wants to go into modeling, but, she doesn't exactly know how to get started on that. I know that at this time, Ford's modeling was a thing, but that's stationed in New York, so that's not really something. And at that point, this clicks in Percy's mind. This is the exact same girl that he found in his Lotus Eater. So that's a thing.
Charlie, like, I have found a girl for my son.
Oh god, yeah, so he's just kind of like putting the pieces together slowly but surely. He's just like, oh shit. She's like, hey, I really like your art, maybe I could commission you. They exchange contacts, and, after several months on and off, Percy and Helena end up going steady, and in about 5 years' time, the two tie the knot. And 2 years later, they have their first child. You might remember I said that Percy's original name was going to be Percy Fox. Well, in actuality, his name is, that's right, Percy Fox. I'm sorry.
Boo!
Hey!
Boo!
Anyways, but they end up having two children, a boy and a girl. The names are Ebony Troy Blackwood, named after the silly joke name that Charlie ended up giving off every so often, the Charlie Ebony Dementia Ravenway thing. So yes, Percy remembered that, and instead of thinking it was a joke, he was like, no, this is cute. Let me name my actual goddamn daughter after this.
Wait, so he names his very blonde daughter Ebony.
To be fair, remember that Ebony is also the name of a tree, so he takes it like that.
Amazing. Uprising raised her hand.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, looking at the art of Helena, I'm like, that's literally
You cut out a
verse
bit.
Val. That's literally Val.
You're right on the money. Again, this is the Lotus Eater version.
Percy's like, he like sees her and she's like, I don't know what it is, but you seem pretty familiar
really
to me.
familiar to me right now.
When Val
find
when Val
another Valencia.
when Val meets Helena in the afterlife, she like looks at Percy.
Gives him like this
What?
awkward
No,
side
I
eye.
totally got over you. What are you talking about? Listen, please don't kill me.
No, it's flattering.
Hey, why the fuck do
Listen.
you look so familiar?
Listen, I already had my own sister kick my ass. I don't need another 2 kickins.
Always take the opportunity to kick Percy Blackwood's ass.
Yeah, you know what? He can take it. You're right. You're right.
This is adorable and I love it so much.
Yeah. And then the son's name is Oliver Grayson Blackwood. And yeah, the Ebony definitely takes after her aunt in her personality, since she is a spunky little child. And Oliver is definitely the shy little thing, very sweet. I know that eventually Percy does get into contact with Grace. I know Junior is the last of the Awakened he meets before he passes away in his late 80s in 2019 of typhoid. I'm kidding. But 2019 is his death date, so... yeah, he lives a good long life.
Nice.
That is what I have.
I know Split was talking about, like, you know, the Reed farm connecting up with the Blackwood farm, because why not? So old Vincent Marshall Reed shows up with a business proposition, helps Percy with some shit, has all this money laid out for him, and then looks him dead in the eyes and says, by the way, I married your mom.
Right, no, and it's like he's constantly putting the pieces together in his mind, but much like when you accidentally bump your shoulder into a puzzle that you've been putting together and the pieces constantly fall apart, it's just like, no, wait, let me try that again. Just like, so you're married to your own wife, but you're also married to Miss Sam. But you're still true to your wife. But you married and it's just this endless cycle. It's just like, you can stop now, Percy.
It's
You're not
okay.
gonna figure it.
It's okay, buddy. It's okay. Don't think too hard about it.
Oh god. Yeah, one last thing. When Percy reaches 25 or 26, he has a late bloom. He becomes a late whatever. His voice finally catches up with him, and it deepens a little bit. Yes, that is canon. People will think when the Awakened meet up with him in the afterlife, they think he's drunk at first. No, this is just how he sounds. Like, this is just how he is now. I'm sorry, but I'm sorry I confused it all those times. But yeah.
That's what my voice sounds like.
This is what I sound like. I promise I ain't drunk. I'm not drunk. Please don't give me a sobriety token, Mr. Reed. I promise.
Rip. God. Okay, final question. Does Percy Blackwood ascend to become a demigod in Charlie's Pantheon?
You know, as tempting as that is, Percy Blackwood has always been a very simple man. I think he is content with life as is.
Makes sense.
That said, if he did, I could totally see him just basically being the architect that he was in the Anti, you know.
It's okay. His friends will still visit him in the afterlife. They'll still visit him. It's not like he's gonna be cut off from them forever.
No, I know.
Well, lovely. Anything else you'd like to hit?
probably Grace for the number of times she said "Shut up, Percy." But you know, other than that,
You can't hit Grace for saying "Shut up, Percy." She will rightfully and morally kick Percy Blackwood. Right?
I will destroy you.
Listen, I named my son after you. What more do you want?
It is always morally correct to kick Percy Blackwood.
Excellent. Well, congratulations for coming in under 13 minutes. You're the first person to come in under time. I'm proud of you. You did it! Thank you. Alright, next is Juniper, Dorcas, and Angie. For the sake of... this is gonna be interesting.
Oops. Cammy, unmute yourself.
Oops.
So, God. So I don't know where to start with this.
Your journey.
There was a journey in which me and Cammy went feral, and then Jordan would occasionally show up.
Yes.
There's a few little sprinkles every now and then.
Yep.
Jordan would just throw in some spice occasionally. We'd be like, "Ooh, we like that," and then we'd keep it.
Yep. First off, how they all ended up interacting with each other. First off, you all know now the story of the roller rink. That's actually where they first met. And it literally just kind of became that Angie was like shockingly very comfortable with Juniper, like because she was fairly new because she was a transfer student, and so she just very quickly she vibed really hard with Juniper's energy. That's the best that I can come up with for how they started.
It's like this man shows up back from the void, goes to his goddamn job because that's what he does as Juniper. Just goes to his retail job the next fucking day.
Yep.
Like nothing happened. And then suddenly it's just like, I recognize this girl. Oh shit, I recognize this girl. We never talked about the semantics of that actually.
We didn't, but basically, like, the way I kind of see it is that he kind of, like, because of his time before, he knows kind of what her little tics are and, like, what she's more comfortable with. And so I think because of that, she falls faster. Like, it happens so much quicker than it did when they initially met, because he knows her. And she's just like, wow, this guy is really thoughtful.
And then you get the whole, like, he probably has to sit down and be like, so, we've met before. This is my...
Don't tell me you're gonna do one of those once upon a dream things.
No. God, I wish, but no. Like, because eventually I think we established that he does, like, just lay everything out for her. And it takes her a second, but she eventually goes, okay.
Yeah, like, what ends up happening, I think it's because, like, they've been dating for a while, and then he, like, tells her, and she's just like, you kept that from me the whole time. It's like, I know, I feel guilty. And she's like, no, I can't believe you've been carrying that. I'm so sorry. He's like, what? He's like, I'm sorry. I didn't know, and I've just been kind of ignorant this whole time. He's like, how would you know?
He's like, exactly. He's just like, wait, how would you
know?
How would you know? You don't know the gods are real.
And then the god shows up at Juniper's house like, Juniper!
God. But yeah, no, Juniper, Dorcas, and Angie create like this weird little... So we realized that none of them are poly, which made me a little sad.
Yeah, we were like, oh my god, what if they were poly? And then we started talking, we're like, none of them are poly.
I want Junior.
Yeah,
I don't want macarons in the mix.
I think we established that Dorcas is like still looking for somebody. He's a hopeless romantic, but
yes,
like
exactly.
Always.
And I feel like Angie and Juniper are more than willing to be like the wingman. Like anytime a double date is a possibility, Angie's like, yes, like she will definitely help out.
God, I gotta get through the actual timeline here, because like,
yeah, sorry.
Because like, no, I get it. We are very excited in this household. But like, I have been drawing comics of the slice of life stuff, so you'll probably still see me like do that kind of thing as time goes on. In fact, Xander's even running like a tabletop with these 3 characters, and they're gonna be playing an MMO, and that's like a whole thing. So I'll keep people updated. But you know, Juniper and Angie, they get married eventually. Yeah. Eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually. Sorry.
They're the long haul kind of people.
They really are the long haul kind of people. Juniper goes to college. I haven't figured out if he goes to the University of Georgia or if he goes to Clark Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Because like Clark Atlanta would fit him. But like still gets that scholarship. And all that Reed Foundation money, and also Angie's also rich. This man has so much money.
Yeah, no, Angie's actually the daughter of a huge business conglomerate in France. So that's part of why she went to school, like transferred, because she was at a business school to learn how to do business, so she could learn to help at the company if she needed to. But then she fell in love with Juniper, and now they're like, let's do our own thing. Let's make our own kind of thing of what we want to do. Like,
yeah, they end up opening like a. Juniper does go into counseling because what else would he do? he goes. He's the therapist friend. He goes into counseling, goes into social work. Especially likes working with the youth. They end up opening another foundation under that. And it's something.
Foster parents.
They also end up becoming foster parents. I think we established they have their own kids. These people are just run amok with children at all times.
Yes, they are. They are smothered with children.
I think you have some old art where like they have housed enough children for a local news station to a local news station was just like, these two have been changing the lives of teens for years. Let's talk to them for a minute. And like, so we have that. We realized that they would be in like their 30s, like early 30s, late 30s, early 40s when like big when YouTube and streaming culture would come by, like they'd be in their late 20s when that, so like occasionally they'll do some bullshit with that. There's a lot of free time that comes with having a lot of money.
Exactly. They know their hashtag blessed, so they spread it where they can.
They spread it where they can. They also have 2 dogs, Sherbert and Wafer. They have 2 dogs, Sherbert and Wafer. Juniper decided he was just like, I've been stressed for 22 years. I'm just gonna not for the rest of this. But you're still working in retail. That I am the weird person in the room that is perfectly fine doing that. But so that ends up happening.
So
Eventually,
they have some kind of crossover with Fluffy Nights.
Oh, I talked about it with Adric at some point, but I don't remember if we're still doing that.
I mean, I would say it's safe to assume yes. It only makes
sense. They have at least one collaboration.
At least one collaboration with Fluffy Nights after the 3rd divorce.
And then Tommy dies at age 40, making him Odeo.
And then dies at age 40. No, but like So I imagine that they have the cross. Cammy and I have also talked about there's so much to unpack, but we gotta.
We have a lot.
We have a lot.
What's my time limit right now?
We currently have 5 minutes. I will say,
perfect.
After this, you got to deal with Christine. So like, I'm willing to, if we can keep it in 5 minutes, that would be good.
I can do Christine in a minute. I want to get to like the end game of Angie Jr. content.
All right. So, Cammy, if you don't mind us slightly bleeding into Christine.
I don't mind.
Okay. But, so they grow old. They meet the other Awakened in the, 2010s, 2020 area. We all realized they would meet in 2019 before everything happened in 2020.
Let's not think about it too hard.
Let's not think about it too hard right now. We're going to
we'll think about that later when we have time.
But so they do that. Juniper gets some paperwork in order. So whenever they ask for a last name and they're just like, no, we need this box filled, he will put Reed down, but generally speaking, God, I'm just imagining the repercussions of that in the cosmic office.
Just Charlie mentioning on the paperwork that Juniper is one of her chosen. They're like, Juniper squints. Does he have a last name? Charlie, sure, Reed. Excuse me. I've collected every read.
You collect reads like Kristen collects Stevens.
I am
actually. I also think the family that like was taking care of Angie while she was transferred was actually also a Reed family.
Charlie is in fact a patron deity of the Reed Crane family line.
But yes, they live their lives. They both live super long. I feel like they pull a heckin' Notebook. Like,
aww.
You have to explain that reference to me really quickly because, like, I'd never seen the
Notebook. They don't live very
Notebook.
long without each other.
Oh, yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And then they die, and then they go to the after party, and then it's just like, hey, you're going to the afterlife, right? And Juniper's like, I just spent the past 60 to 70 years resting. No, I'm ready to go.
And then it's like, oh, you're gonna like fight too. Okay, well, your girlfriend probably needs, or your wife, I guess, probably needs to go somewhere safe. She's like, oh no, I can fight. Pulls up her rapier. What?
I mean,
practicing.
Listen, Charlie has met Angie. She knows Angie is powerful. She would not be. She'd be like, just okay. Juniper's coming. Turns to Angie in a like, you know, do you want to come? Like she doesn't even ask. She's just like, I mean.
Yeah, like Angie's like, yep, let's go. Like I'm ready.
Charlie's like, cool.
God.
And then Juniper becomes the therapist god.
And then he becomes the therapist god, because what else is he going to do? Like,
listen,
like,
does that make Angie like some sort of equivalent of like a Persephone, where it's like she is soft until you cross her or her husband?
Listen.
God, I have a secondary thing to consider here. Because Universal Constant Juniper is a thing in several people's games, I like to imagine that he's a therapist god that still occasionally shows up in, like, as like a side job, just occasionally fucking shows up in people's like god shops.
God. But yeah, like a big reason I was like I can do switching gears a little bit. A big reason I said, oh yeah, I can do Christine in a minute. It's like, what happened to Christine? Christine Forks lived her life. The end goal of like Juniper's dream, his wish was for Christine to live the life that she was supposed to, and she does, untouched by any of the Black Stars, untouched by any of like the Awakened shenanigan bullshit. She lives a happy life. Her family grows old. She becomes a grandmother. Her son goes and gets his degree and goes into military school because he needs some structure in his life.
Sorry, Mikey is good. Continue.
It's wonderful and I love him, Chaos Boy. And Adriana just becomes like librarian, like at the school that she like went to when she was younger, and she has like a kid, and actually her husband is the one taking the picture. So she gets, yeah, the Forks family gets to live a full long life. And Christine dies at a good ripe age, and she just goes into her own afterlife because she doesn't need to be touched by any more shenanigan bullshit.
Christine Forks gets the doc treatment, but less extreme.
Yes. She gets less extreme doc treatment.
Yep, listen, I'm real emotional seeing these kids get to grow up. It's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
God, it did just wash over me that they were murdered in an alternate universe, yeah.
Yep. Yep, and now they're living their lives.
Excellent. Anything else you two want to add?
No.
Not at the moment. There will be more Angie, Juniper, Dorcas content because I personally demand it.
Fair enough. All right, well, thank you very much. Next is Val Ezra, and since I know that's 2 people and you both have a lot, I'm gonna give you both 15 minutes.
Okay, that's not as much as I thought.
2 of you. I'll tap out at 20.
Okay, great. There's a lot to go over.
Yeah,
we'll just start. So we see what happens at the end of the the last episode, right? And that's great. So Black Stars are cut off from that universe. That's great. So Artorias dies in like a month, but while he's like dying, he starts to like become like kind of a better-ish person. Like he like laughs, but not like an evil laugh, you know? Yeah, like a
yeah, like that.
Like a good old chortle. and he does end up giving Ezra his like blessing to be king essentially. And then he fucking dies, and everyone is happy. Gwyn, Val's mom, the queen, is like, she's like whatever. She steps down as the queen so that Val can be crowned queen because she's got a lot to say. So Ezra becomes king after they have a royal wedding. And since Val is the main ruler, Ezra has more like freedom with what he can do. So I'll take it away.
Yeah, so Ezra becomes the head of the military as the start, but he kind of wants results and not so much power. He goes with diplomacy first, and then he'll do war, which he has been successful with both. But if it's at all possible to avoid war as much as he could, like he was always about avoiding war. Get this, war is bad.
What?
Who would have thought? Who would have thought that war is bad?
That's what Animorphs
Also,
thought.
plunging Pravam into war is bad because it's fucking war. What the fuck?
It's not preferred. It's not good for anyone. Yeah.
But he does bring a lot of stuff back from the future back to Pravam, like blueprints and things, as well as politics and ideals and stuff. A lot of stuff that took several upon several years in civilizations to form and develop. His stuff's not perfect, but it sure does help, like equal pay and proper taxes.
Whoa.
I think his biggest achievement is that he establishes healthcare using like a scientific knowledge from the future in conjunction with problems existing health practices and magic. So it's like kind of like if you ever seen Eberron, like the Eberron setting where it's like a mix of like magic and technology. It's kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Overwatch, sort of.
Yeah, and kind of Overwatch.
Yeah, because like Pravam, and Canticus in general, like as a world, like already has scientific knowledge and indigenous knowledge and stuff. So Ezra just kind of builds off of that. Val becomes the queen, and first things first. Like the second she becomes queen, she's already working on fixing relationships with other kingdoms. She travels a lot for diplomatic stuff. She just kind of wants to fix the damage that Artorias did by just being a little freaking bitch the whole time. And that's fine. So she tries to fix that. She also tries to be, and part of damage control is her trying to be really active in Pravam, like going out to visit townspeople, seeing how they're doing, performing acts of charity. Obviously big establishments of like the stuff that like Ezra brings over, which we will get to in a second. But also like, giving specific communities that need it funds, trying not to be too she doesn't want to give special treatment to anyone, but she's still going to try and help. And so with like Ezra's future knowledge, him bringing over taxes and the stuff, the financial plan for the kingdom is like taxation based on production and like net worth. So the crown's tax the highest, and that's also like good for setting an example. She fixes infrastructure like roads, as she talked with MG about. And
I help set up irrigation methods.
Yes.
It was very important to her that we set up irrigation methods.
The irrigation was so freaking important. We did it.
Listen, you do have a god, like, not like, on immediate, you call her name and she comes immediately, but she does visit regularly and will do what she can for you. Unless you're in dire needs. She has definitely come to Ezra on the battlefield at least once and been like, "What are you doing?"
I've been stabbed. Yeah, I can this hurts so much more than I thought.
Why?
This hurts so much more than I thought.
Sorry, go on.
I fucked around and I found out.
Bro, thank you for zooming in on my art. So okay.
So detailed.
Yes. So Val is obviously, she wants to listen to the people, right? So she sets up a sort of a council. Wilhelm is head of agriculture. He's the advisor of the agricultural matters, and there are other like former peasant advisors as well. Obviously, anyone on the council isn't going to be like dead broke. So like being invited to be on this council because like you're like picked out as like a representative of your field, basically. She obviously goes with Wilhelm. Really awkward because she has to like break up with Wilhelm. Very strange, but it happens.
After all the times she's had like first, you know, first she has the whole thing of where he refuses to kill her and then she's ripped in front of him, and then she has like the multiple Lotus Eaters facing down Wilhelm, first with them getting married and then with him trying to burn her alive. So she just looks at Wilhelm, who, you know, isn't aware of any of this, and she just like sweats.
Listen, this is arranged marriage. It's so arranged marriage.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Yeah. They're great friends though. I don't know. She might tell him about it eventually because magic is not that like magic and gods and stuff is not that crazy out of the realm of probability here. So she probably tells him. He's like, oh okay. He's a great guy. He also has a family. That's great. But Val and Ezra are going on to they're protecting the environment from what Ezra has, like Ezra's knowledge about the future and how fucked up the like future environment is. They straight go into environmental protection, and this is like political because so like the forest near Pravam, which was mentioned in Val's like the like that one scenario we had where we like make the scenario. You know, remember that?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. There's the fairies. There's the fairies in that forest, and they're essentially like the like indigenous people of that area. So like they have to like. So it gets really political because they make like deals with them, and like they're like, okay, you guys stay here. We're protecting this area. Plus, you in it. We're not kicking you out because that's bad for the environment, as we learned from an alternate universe.
We are not going to do this, but also don't turn anyone who walks here into like a sheep or something.
Excuse me, I'm an alternate universe denier.
if there's sheep shenanigans, then we are gonna have to get involved. But so and then Inventions.
Oh my god. Okay, so I had this list for a while, and just the other day we were like sitting down, we were talking about like, okay, what happens. And then I just started listing off all these things, and Uprising had a conniption, so I'm gonna do this slow.
Yeah.
So Inventions. Ezra has brought the refrigerator. He has brought the typewriter, the printing press, the bicycle, the microwave, the light bulb, windmills for energy, especially in like mountains, the water heater, the battery, and then there is one, and I mean one electric razor in the entire kingdom of Province.
In the entire planet of Conticus, there is a single electric razor. It's Ezra's.
Todrick found out about the razor and has not stopped bothering him about it.
Yeah.
But there is only one electric razor in the entire kingdom, in the entire world of Canticus, and it belongs to the Ezra Lynch or Crane. Wait, at what point did Ezra? It was like a month. It was like a month. They had to speed things along.
It didn't take long. He was like, well, we know what we're doing. And all of the stuff. Oh yeah, and the steam engine. Oh, you didn't mention the steam engine.
Oh, that's right. I didn't mention the steam engine. Hold on. Let me pull up the list that I have on my notes because my notes doesn't have everything that's here. Oh no, we talked about the steam engine afterwards.
Yeah, we did. Well, no, I put it. It's after Todrick finding out about the electric razor.
Yeah, so there's a steam engine. The steam engine it actually does steam and not coal because a steam engine in Ezra's time is a hydro car. The government has stopped killing people trying to make hydro cars, and they fully embraced the hydro car. So Ezra's going to bring the hydro car home. That's what's going to happen.
There's no actual car in their time, but the technology is there. And the technology it's not based entirely on like a fucking straight science and like electricity. It's based on magic. So like the microwave is kind of using fire magic. The fridge is using water magic. steam engine, a little bit of both, but also just, make some steam. Yeah, so it's a lot of, oh yeah, and the water heater. Maybe you mentioned, I don't know, I can't remember.
I mentioned the water heater.
Okay, great. Well, the water heater is also a combination. Okay.
Yeah, but it's all a mix of magic and technology, which is fun because you don't really get to see future meet fantasy often, but
yeah,
I think it's neat. And then we have kids.
And then they have kids. They have 3 kids.
3 of
they
them.
have two daughters and a son. Their first daughter, the oldest, is named Charlotte.
Aww.
And then Juniper is the middle daughter, because at first we were like, well, we gotta name one of our kids Juniper. Juniper's kind of a girl name. So and we were gonna have 2 daughters, so and then Vincent is the youngest son.
Aww.
Charlotte ends up becoming the heir, because obviously one of them has to be the heir. Like, they're like, hey kids, do whatever you want. Please, one of you take over the kingdom though. Like, please, just one of you do that.
Like, eventually there's gonna come a time where one of us dies, and you can marry whoever you please. Try to aim for a noble if you can.
Yeah, please.
We understand they're gross.
Yeah, you just think about it, please. So Charlotte ends up becoming the heir, assuming the mantle of queen. We didn't actually figure out like who she marries, but it works out basically. It's fine. And Charlotte and Juniper also inherit Val's light magic stuff. Anyway, 1,000. Let's jump forward 1,000 years. 1,000 years in the future. Yes. They basically make Conticus really good. They establish world peace for a time.
For lack of better words, things are pretty tight over there.
Wow, they make things good.
It's pretty fucking sick, to be honest. It's
Have you ever
place
seen magic and technology like in the same place?
There's water slides.
Yeah, there's fucking water slides. It's insane. The water slides have actual dragons.
Have you seen these water slides?
So, like, world peace is not something that's really attainable at any case, but for a while, it does kind of, because Conticus kind of supports other nations by sharing knowledge and technology and not being a super dick about it. So Val and Ezra are remembered 1,000 years into the future, probably more, as the ones who ushered Conticus into a new era of fucking sickness. And Val's title is the
title.
Yeah, Val's title is the Savior of Light.
And then Ezra's title is the Man Out of Time.
It's pretty cool.
And then that's... I don't know if Ezra ever tells the truth about what happens publicly, but they know that they took one look at this man, and they just knew he just kind of wasn't from here.
Mm-hmm.
They also tried to find America at some point and couldn't find it because it didn't exist.
Valzra's kids probably know, but...
Oh, I'm sure they've met Ozzy and Charlotte.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So they know about the whole,
they gotta.
Dimension hopping stuff. They did not look for Bel Air because they knew it wasn't real. And as for the afterlife demigod stuff, you can go first.
Oh, Ezra's absolutely becoming a god. Like that's, dude. He's already got like a bit of a god complex. To actually turn him into one, like that is end game.
Charlie, listen, you're a demigod.
Okay, like I'm a demigod for now, and then when I die, am I a demigod now? Like technically, like because I am under you, and
you're not a
I have powers.
You're my chosen. That doesn't mean you're a demigod. It means
it's like Heracles, you know, like that's
no. You're a demigod once you die and you join me fighting. You're not like a super big god. You're an immortal
You're a
with
paladin,
powers.
dipshit.
What he said. Thank you.
So how do I become a god after I become a demigod?
I will kill you.
Is that how it works? Like, is it like a phoenix thing where I have to like die and then come back?
Not so much, no.
No, we'll deal with. The point is, Ezra's like, I will also be God.
I will also become a god. Like you present a human, you present a man with the option to beat up deities for a living after he dies. Abso-fucking-lutely. Absolutely. You understand what kind of power complex this man has? You understand what you're presenting to him? Oh, for sure.
Yeah, for Val, it's a little more complicated because she is like religious in her world. Like she's like basically like the high priestess of Lucerna. So for her, it's like, I don't know. But she eventually ends up wanting to help too, like because so before she dies, she kind of is like thinking, what am I gonna do? I'm kind of caught in a bunch of mess. She communes with the goddess, and the goddess is like, yeah, fucking do it. And then Val's like, okay. And then she joins Ezra in the god fight, becomes a demigod as well.
Ultimately, he doesn't leave without his wife, though. So
yeah, he's not going. They're sticking together. They're holding
sticking
hands
together. They're holding hands.
Every time
Ezra
they
curb
freaking
stomps one of them, like one of those gods out there.
There's so many married couples that just proceed to help kill gods.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're killing gods with love. I mean, what's more beautiful than that?
My fucking boots on their teeth.
Crushing them in between our freaking hands, kissing while
I make out with my hot wife.
Making out.
It's like, do I regret putting these two in my pantheon?
You should.
Yes, they're too powerful together.
Maybe a little. And then that's it. That's
Yep.
it for us. The
As
Savior
you can
Lightning
tell-
Man out of time are legends.
Excellent.
Yep, they're fucking legends. They're amazing. Everyone loves them forever. This is my fantasy, and I do what I want.
It's a good fantasy. I like it. All right, sounds good. Thank you both.
Of course. And now I have to go.
All right, bye, Jordan. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
I gotta go
everyone.
too. We're the fucking bitches out of the stream.
Goodbye all.
I love you both.
Goodbye,
DMP.
Wait, was that Alex raising his hand or
No, I think-
just a
I mean, I
wave?
think he's waving, but do you want to?
That is me waving goodbye!
Okay, bye-bye. Actually, since we're heading out, since those two are heading out, and we're about the halfway mark, we're gonna take a very quick 10-minute break. We'll be back in 10 minutes. BRB. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the DMP Epilogue-ish. I am your host, One Crime Straczynski, and we're gonna get right back into things with Hugo and Thorin. And once again, as this is two people, you guys get 20 whole minutes.
Oh my gosh, 20 freaking minutes?
20 freaking minutes.
That's so much.
Well, I guess this one can kind of include Haley, right?
Yeah.
Because
well, Haley does have her own stuff as well, so you guys can talk about like your guys' life first, and then
yeah, fair enough. Cool. All right. So yeah, you want to go first, Thorin?
I mean, well, yeah. Well, after they go back to the real world, as y'all know, Dev is all okay now, and everything's paid for, so they go home, and Yuko ends up becoming like a music teacher and stuff like that, and they, well, they end up making like a shelter, or yeah, you'd probably describe it better.
Yeah, sure. I'll pick it up here. Yeah. So Yugo has some success musically, but mostly in like local scenes, bars and clubs and that kind of thing. But the experience of going through DMP and like kind of finding himself as a it's both a father and someone who just likes being there for people in general. It really inspired him to want to become a teacher. So he becomes a high school music teacher and just really finds his love for passing on knowledge and experience that way. Dev, with the Reed Foundation money, Dev ends up starting his own software company with all of his experience working for one of the, big companies that he's been doing for so long. Starts like a smaller firm and really tries to be like an example to other software developers to live the like ethics that they proclaim to, but most of them don't actually do that. They're like, yeah. What was it? Google deleting "Do No Evil" off of their website. Yeah.
Don't be evil. That's what it was.
Right. So yeah, Dev is trying to lead the way in his own small way at paying employees well, having a good representation among the among the like board. So yeah, bunch of all different kinds of folks from race, creed, LGBT, all that jazz, trying to evenly distribute and bring in all kinds of different folks and perspectives.
Yeah.
So yeah, bettering the world in that way. And one day, the family hears about just to kind of decide, I wonder what Juniper's up to. Look up Juniper, and turns out Juniper's started this with Angie, this program, this like charity for troubled youths, and so they contact Juniper and Angie and are like, hey, this sounds like a really awesome thing. I would assume that, I don't know, in my mind, Thorin is the one to be like, hey, that sounds like a really awesome thing. I think I'd like to do that.
They along with the time skip, they bought a house, they got dogs and all kinds of stuff. They got a husky and a golden retriever named Grits.
Uh-huh.
And I also like to think that Thorin would be like, yo guys, this would actually be pretty fun to work together on, like it's like a nice little family team and stuff like that. And they were like, yeah, let's give it a shot. And they do, and I would like to put in a little bit of flavor text. I was thinking that since Hugo became a music teacher, maybe Thorin could also get into music a little bit and maybe know a little bit of piano.
Oh heck yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
I'm sure we'd like play sometimes on stage as well.
Oh,
Local
of
scenes. Oh, that'd be so awesome.
Play music for the troubled youths.
Yeah. And so like Thorin ends up becoming kind of like a youth counselor for a lot of these kids, because Thorin's been through a lot as a young person, and so helping just going there regularly, hanging out with the kids, and just being this really inspirational person for them.
We're being raided. That's a thing I have to deal with right now. Continue.
Oh, good. Fun.
Are we
Well,
being
welcome,
raided?
Raiders.
Doesn't seem to be I don't know. It seems a little overwhelming. So I think I'm gonna.
Put me on mod. Hold on.
Hang on.
Yeah, I'm on it. Don't worry.
Fun.
Like the 50 people we've got to ban now.
Yeah,
you
no,
Cammy
this
Cat?
is spam. Yeah, I'm Cammy Cat.
So it's like
Cammy
a
Cat's
spam
Twitch. Go
raid?
ahead and-
Fun.
it's a
I
spam raid, yeah.
send a spam raid. What is this?
Cool.
Alright.
Love this. I really think this is neat.
While we're being
Whoops, I
raided,
don't
I
wanna
will take
raid
the
anything.
time to mention
Yeah.
that it wasn't really discussed during the stream, but I would like to make it known that Thorin is in fact non-binary. I know I use he/him pronouns a lot, but as Thorin got older and discovered the internet, they discovered like, wow, I don't like either of those, so I'm me. I'm just me, and so Thorin is a baby.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. And yeah, I'd say that I know at one point like we have this big barbecue, and
Yeah.
yeah, we like bring everybody together.
Yes.
Who, at least anyone who is around at that time, which would be
Exactly.
Haley.
Oh yeah, the barbecues.
Right.
Haley,
We pretty much
Juniper.
yeah, be Juniper, Haley, Tommy, Angie,
Tommy, yeah.
the Hernandez family, and I think that's everybody. And we just, you know, have a nice barbecue. Thorin would be around 16 at that point, I think.
Yeah.
Hugo would be in his mid-30s as well as Dev. And yeah, so would Juniper. So that old man joke that Hugo made about Juniper in like the last episode of they're the same age, that was pointed out to me by Bro. It's like, oh yeah, they are. Like that. Whoops. So we'd both be eating prunes. As far as the, you know, what we would do, you know, they're just living their lives. Where do you see Thorin going when they grow up?
Well, I think they would stay along the counselor line and do some kind of music therapy of sorts.
Oh, that's fun.
And unlike me, actually learn how to read music, and maybe one day eventually become a composer.
Heck yeah.
And collab with Haley in the future at some point. It's like, you wanna play in my band?
Oh my god, that would be so good.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, so long time no see. So I've got this little thing going on, and I think you would be a perfect lead for the brass
Tell me more.
section. Oh, well, I'm glad you asked, my friend. And they just like talk about it. And they show.
God, I love that actually.
They show Haley the sheet music. Like, well, I've been working on it for a couple of years. Like, what do you think about it?
Oh my god, that's I'd actually love that. I'd actually love that a lot. That's really good.
Right. Oh yeah, and we talked like briefly about like we all meet up, and then like Juno and Haley and Thorin and Hugo are talking about, hey, you know what would be fun to like create like a music group online, since we're in different areas. We could call it Band on the Internet.
Oh my god. That's funny.
Oh, incredible.
And
Why do I taste copper?
right.
Does anyone not smell toast?
If anyone, I might be the only one in this entire room, including like the chat, but look, let me know if anyone else has seen this movie. It's a movie called Mr. Holland's Opus, and it's fantastic, and it's about a music teacher, and it has such a beautiful, it's just like the life of this music teacher. He never planned to be a music teacher. He always wanted to be a famous musician, but you know, his music career wasn't going so well, so he decided to, you know, my fallback plan, I'll be a teacher for a while, and I'll write my opus while I'm doing this. And it's just decades and decades of him doing this, and it's showing him influencing, you know, kids and other teachers and other people in his community. And a part of him still maybe feels this like my life's work's incomplete, that kind of thing. And at the end, he is surprised by like generations of his former students. They like his wife and his kid bring him into the auditorium, and just several generations on stage who he's taught, and they play his piece of music that he's been writing.
Score.
Right.
I have seen that movie.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Like I guess his wife gave it to them, and was like secretly like learned this because like this would be the biggest thing in the world to him. Oh, it's so good.
I'm so glad you didn't say like the big twist of the movie, because I was about to, and then I caught myself, and I want to save it because it's actually truly worth watching. It's a beautiful movie.
Yeah, Mr. Holland's Opus, check
amazing
it out.
message.
It's really pretty.
Oh
Good
yeah.
movie. And yeah, so without, you know, minus the regret, like that's kind of Yugo's life. I feel like he would be very satisfied just inspiring people to love music. Yeah. I think that's
a beautiful idea.
Yeah.
I love that so much. He would be an amazing music teacher. I can see him on like a documentary about music and how he inspires the next great band, like the next Beatles or something.
Oh, heck yeah. Cool. Oh, and as far as the question about how, you know, what they're going to do, you know, live in their C.S. Lewis ending where everyone gets to meet up and decide what they're going to do, be gods or be, you know, retired, essentially. As far as Dev and Yugo are concerned, they're very satisfied just, you know, taking a siesta for the rest of eternity. So, you know, heaven sounds nice. We can still kind of peer through the clouds and look how our god friends are doing every once in a while. But
well, your god friends will come visit you.
Yeah.
And
Happy
speaking of
having
God,
Mai Tais in the clouds.
yeah. And speaking of God friends, Thorin never felt like he truly like matured spiritually. Like just mostly, he still feels like a child, and he wants to expand on that. And so he becomes a god. They become a god themselves, and it's a complete chaotic mess, and it's wonderful.
Charlie would be very happy to have Thorin her. She'd be like, oh my god, now we get to
Look at what I
hang
can
out.
do now! Look at this! And just like
Charlie's
makes an entire
Charlie's
fucking
like, I get
theater.
to teach you how to be a god for real. Oh my god.
Can you show me how to do the string thing? Because that was really rad as hell.
Charlie, oh boy. I'm gonna teach you how to do the string thing and then a bunch of other things.
Fantastic. First things first. How do I shapeshift?
Oh, you just think
I
about
want
what you
to
want
become a dog. I need to
Yay.
become a dog. I just want to play fetch.
God, wonderful.
Amazing.
I think you guys can move on to talking about like meeting up with Haley. I think.
Oh, heck yes.
Okay, cool. That would be, yeah.
Also, pause. Thank you everyone for your patience with the
Yeah.
raid thing. We're
Sorry
we're
about the
doing our
spam
best.
bot
Sorry
raid.
about the spam.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for your patience. Figured I should acknowledge it verbally. Jesus fuck. Sorry that
God.
happened. Good thing that never happened with our actual show. All right,
Yep.
so
Freaking nuggets.
back to fun things.
Yes, back to nice things. So, speaking of that whole barbecue that you mentioned before, Darby,
Yeah.
that was one of the things that would be the whole all of like the 2000s, all of the 2000s living awakened could go to. But before that, in terms of Haley and the Hernandez family, what we were thinking was that like the Hernandezes would actually take Haley up on going to visiting her at the jazz concert at one of her jazz combo concerts, because she's all like, hey, you go.
Yeah. What's up, Haley? That
So
was a fantastic concert.
Yeah, it was awesome. That was incredible.
Oh my god, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And then they basically just catch up, talk about their lives. Haley would say things like, "Oh yeah, I've been studying hard. You've been keeping up with the." And this is probably would be the time when I guess since Haley's kind of off doing her own thing, like at school, she wouldn't know that Thorin is non-binary. So I guess this would be the time to bring it up, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Cool.
wanna
Let's
be
make it
like,
a
"Oh."
whole scene then. Let's do this.
Yeah.
So,
So what's been going on with you guys?
oh, nothing much, you know, living our best life. I've actually been going to school, which is pretty fun.
Oh, nice.
Um,
You learn music like you said you would?
oh, you bet. It turns out I'm actually pretty tapped in with piano.
Ooh.
With good old
Oh, yeah.
libraries.
Oh, he's awesome. Sorry,
I-
they are awesome.
Oh!
Dad.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, yeah, I learned the term non-binary, so and it just kind of clicked. I'm like, wow, it all makes sense, you know? and it does make sense.
Well, kid, if you have any questions about anything, just let me know.
I have so many because the internet is not clear.
No, the internet's definitely not clear. Your experience, your mileage will vary. That's the first thing you gotta learn. Your
Okay,
identity.
I didn't know if it was like something specific that I had to go through, or if it
Nah,
was just like.
It's all a mess. Your identity is what you think it is, what you feel it is. It's what's right in your heart. But anyways, enough about that. How the rest of your life been doing? Hugo, you said you've been teaching?
Yeah,
yeah.
I did. So I'm still playing music in local spots, you know, bars, clubs, that kind of thing. But you know, maybe it was just being around you guys and being around, you know, just taking in Thorin and and all of that, you becoming a dad. But I think it really just ended up inspiring me to want to pass on what I've learned, you know, and what I continue to learn. And one of my favorite things in life is music. So yeah, so there, you know, we don't live too far from a local school, and I guess I felt like when I was younger, I really started appreciating music, you know, on a technical and I guess emotional, spiritual level when I was, you know, in middle and high school. So I decided to try becoming a music teacher, and in high school. And I've been doing that for a little while, and I've very much enjoyed it. I think I found my comfort zone, and also a place that really challenges me, because every student's different, you know, and it's always rewarding to help somebody appreciate something that I appreciate. Yeah,
Of course. You know, every kid's got different needs. Like, yeah, I mean, I guess I was one example.
for
But-
sure.
You let me know how many kids were suffering learning about the Locrian mode.
Oh,
You bet.
it, it's still hard to remember the Wheel of Fifths. Like,
Circle of
that's
Fifths?
something. Thank you. See, I'm already forgetting it every time I like relearn it. I forget a piece of it, but
Hey. Come on, kid. You're the piano player. You gotta, you gotta help your old man out every once in a
Right.
while, eh?
Truth be told, I have it written over my piano, but I never remember it whatsoever.
That's about the
Well-
best way to do it, is have it right in front of you. It's so
Exactly,
complicated,
just
and
so
like
you
my
know.
my
You know what?
ma- Go ahead.
They tell you memorize your music, but you know, usually you got the thing in front of you anyway. So
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, yeah, in the age of information, you got it's funny because, you know, so many teachers in the school talk about like, oh, you gotta memorize this thing in history or in science or whatever, because you're not gonna be able to look this thing up. Yes, you are. There's
Yeah.
never gonna be a point in your life
Technology's
where
only ever gonna get better.
right,
I mean, even before that, you know, there's this thing called, you know, the library.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
ma-
Exactly.
Maybe if
And if-
you're like spelunking in a cave and you need to figure out what kind of like rock or whatever you're dealing with, then you have no cell signal. Otherwise, you can look up anything you want anytime. And
Yeah, like that,
Yeah.
like outside of extraordinary circumstances.
Exactly.
As for me and Kate, well, you know, we're happy. I'm studying fashion. Everything's
Oh, no
going
kidding.
real nice. Yeah.
That's awesome. What kind of stuff do you do? Do you need a model or something?
oh wait, I think I might have seen one of your like one of your teachers like their one of their dresses on like the red carpet or something recently.
Oh,
What was it?
really?
Oh, was
Yeah.
that article you were looking at the other day?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I remember Haley
Like-
talking about, and then I
Yeah,
looked
the
up.
Met
and it was-
Gala.
Right. That's the one.
That
So
was
you said-
yours?
No, that wasn't me. That was one of my teachers.
Oh,
I'm sure it's gonna
sorry,
be
I
yours in the
got
next 5 years.
We're
starting into that
Fingers
genius.
crossed.
So
Yeah.
anyway, other than seeing you be brilliant on stage, oh my gosh, like I'm so glad we got to hear you actually play jazz.
Thanks. You know, I was practicing those runs a lot. You know that part of that solo? I actually stole that from Dolphin Shoals from Mario Kart 8.
Oh, that's
I
interesting.
knew
Yeah, you know.
it. I freaking knew it.
Yeah.
You know, when I want to try to get like in the mindset of someone who like plays jazz, and it's just like is really into jazz. I watched the movie Whiplash, which I'm sure is
Oh.
like way too much. Like that's
Oh,
way
yeah.
too intense.
That's
like
that's more of a psychological
Right?
deep dive into the mind of a performer and the mind of a teacher.
I
yeah,
can't imagine. My friends
And
in
also
the jazz
Buddy
club
Rich, who
in
was a huge
school.
dick.
yeah. That's the impression I kind of got.
Huh.
Throws a cymbal at his drummer's head, right?
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
For a guy named Buddy, he wasn't super friendly.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But like
Yeah.
seeing you up there, just how much fun and like like you can see like the beads of sweat forming on your head, but it's all in this like effort to just.
You're looking at
Oh,
my
get-
sweat?
It's
I'm teasing.
it's like pearlescent like pearls streaming down your forehead. It's so beautiful just watching because you can see the thought and the
It's like
and
the
the care.
veil of the zone.
Oh, that's what it is. It's you're seeing
Yeah.
the zone on someone's skin. It's
Yeah.
so cool. Oh my gosh.
Actually,
But,
that's just because the heat is on, but
Yeah. But yeah, it's honestly it's really amazing to watch just someone be in their
thank you.
element like you are
Thank
up
you,
there on
thank you.
stage. So thank you for inviting us. And speaking of inviting friends to things, we've got a barbecue
Yeah,
coming up
you should totally
with-
come and bring
with some more of our friends, you know, the ones who
Brady, yes.
Yep. All the folks who are planning to come is going to be Juniper and Angie and Tommy. So yeah.
Oh yeah, Juniper, he hooked up with someone, yeah?
Oh yeah, you know, good old Angie. And you should give him a call. You should. Angie's amazing. She's like a firecracker. She's really.
I'm looking forward to meeting her.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kate and I
Oh.
both.
We got a couple doggies. You know, it with our
Aw.
yeah, with our Reed Foundation money, we ended up joining in on Juniper's like Troubled Youths Foundation. Look,
Really nice.
this kid right here. Oh my
Uh-huh.
gosh, Thorin has been such an inspiration to these kids. These
Oh, you keep on doing good, kid.
yeah. Yeah.
Embarrassing me. I mean, it's I
Come
mean, I know
on,
what they're
kiddo.
I kind of know what they're going through, so I mean, I might as well throw in some advice while I'm there. And it turns out that it's really fun, and I'm really good at it. So not to toot my own horn or anything, but I did.
It's okay. I just did enough of that on stage. You get your turn.
Okay, I'm really good at it. I'm really good at talking to these
That's
kids,
good.
and
That's the
I
spirit.
want to do more.
Yeah. I think Thorin's gonna have a. You are really good at that. You're really good at just being
definitely.
there for
Definitely.
people who need it and inspiring them. It's come so natural to you, and I'm so proud of you, Thorin.
Aw.
Well, I learned from the best. You know that.
Oh,
It's what I always say. It's what I
no.
always say.
Oh, you
Well.
guys are so sweet. Hey, you guys want to? Well, I'm definitely coming to that barbecue. You send me the details. In the meantime, help yourself to some of these like cookies inside it. You know.
No one mentioned cookies. I'll be on my way. You guys have fun.
Cool.
It's good
Maybe-
to see you again, Hugo.
You too, Haley. Maybe you know, if you're not doing anything later, maybe we could take you out to dinner or something. But
Oh,
no
that'd
pressure.
be awesome.
Oh, awesome.
It's the dining hall's not having doesn't have a good option today, so doesn't have good food today. So
It's
we-
only
yeah,
oatmeal raisin.
Oh no!
oh, they
just-
must have gotten through all the M&M cookies.
Yeah, the M&M.
It's okay. I knew you was
My
in the
cake
audience.
is ruined.
Up, kiddo. I knew you were in the audience. So, ta-da!
Oh my god! What?
Yep, all yours. Don't spend it all in one place.
I
Don't
can't
spend your-
promise anything.
chocolate chip cookie all in one place.
Oh, the universe is coming in to tell you
Wow.
it's been 8 minutes.
Oh god, the walls
For
are
a
closing in.
while.
All right.
Perfect time to fade out.
All right. So, other than that, as for the rest of Haley's life, so obviously she does go on to study at Mount Holyoke. She does room with Kate all of her years, though. In 2020, she does have to study at home because pandemic.
Yes.
But like Charlie's. I'd imagine Charlie's just making sure that they all stay healthy, and because the life's supposed to go on.
Yes, she's not going to let you get the COVID.
Yeah, I wrote on this document, probably passed by Just Juno from real life on the bus or something and tasted copper. Wow, these people and men on the internet and Juno songs are really cool. Why do I taste copper? Definitely makes out with Kate a lot. And she gets her degree, goes on to studies. She graduates with an art degree, focusing on fashion design, and becomes a cool fashion designer.
Oh.
And one of the things that I also jotted down was that she brings up Juniper, and she's all like, "Yeah, hey Jujub, I know it's been a while that since that barbecue, and all that stuff." And they probably talk like once or twice, a few times, every now and then, just to catch up, see how they're doing. But Haley's like, "Hey, would you like to model for me? Would you like to model my clothes?"
Aww.
And
Yes.
And I'm just like, and as we said before, like if Thorin's offering as well, like she's
yeah,
also.
of course, yeah, he would.
Yeah, she's all.
They would happily.
Yeah, they would, especially
be like
since
an
she's
androgynous model for them.
Yeah, as a trans person, as a trans woman, Haley is also like, Haley is also focusing on like designing clothes for like transgender people as well. So.
Oh
So
yeah,
she-
Thorin would be all over that.
Yeah, and that includes
Absolutely.
non-binary people. So like she needs a non-binary.
Yeah.
She needs a non-binary model. Make sure.
Gotta
everything, like,
represent my people, my
Yeah,
folks.
yeah, exactly. Now, she and Kate definitely get married, and yes, Kristen, the Alive Awakened are invited.
Yay, this is very important to me.
And she tells Charlie sure, and she could bring along Chaos God. And then I have written here, Chaos God crashes the party, eats the wedding cake, and calls it good cheddar.
Very.
And then the sub points there. Haley's mom is like, "Who the f-" grabs a broom and starts beating at Chaos God like a stray animal while yelling in Cantonese.
Incredible.
Excellent.
Because like she doesn't know what this like this goat chicken leg man with the hipster hairdo's doing. How he knows Haley and this stuff, and like she's just like, "Who is this person? Why is he eating our cake?
Why is he eating her cake?
Why is he calling it cheddar?" Because like you have to remember, she's like a bit of an older Taiwanese mom. She doesn't know all the slangs.
Excellent.
And
Very good.
And of course, Haley never forgets her. Haley never forgot her like friends. So she's always like, "Oh yeah, puts some of the cake in a Tupperware. Yeah, Chaz, could you do me a favor? Send these to the ones that died."
Yes, I will take the cake I will take the cake back to the past.
And then like a week later, she hears the doorbell ring, and then Charlie's there with like an armful of Tupperware. It's like, "Here, wash these."
Here, I did not wash them. That is a you problem.
I know I did not expect you to. That would be a dick move.
Scott raised his hand.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but I like to imagine that one of these pieces of cakes accidentally gets sent to like one of the houses of the descendants, and they're like, "Who are you?"
Sorry, wrong number. But can we have the cake?
Can we still
No.
have the cake? Also, it's nice to meet you. Okay, bye.
But yeah, speaking of Charlie, I also have written down here that she always visits around the fall because of that pumpkin spice that they sell.
Yes. Around the
'Cause, you
fall,
know-
it's like, it's about that season. Charlie shows up. We're getting coffee. So they get coffee. She's just like, and then I had to go. And then Vincent took over hell. And I had to
Took over hell.
And I had to yell at him and be like, "You have to come back. I get you're not scared of hell, but like, you have to be alive for your daughter's wedding. Jesus fucking Christ!"
So that explains the
Sucks.
World War I soldier zombie uprising. The what? I'm kidding. I'm pulling your leg.
Charlie squeezing this.
She squeezes the cup and all the latte, just like, "Would you like me to buy you another one?"
Yes.
I feel like I should because that was my joke that made you do that. All the beautiful sounds of fall, the rustling of leaves, the blowing of wind. All right. And Haley goes on, lives her life, designs for the Met Gala, blah 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 blah. Then she dies, and then as all people do, and then she goes to the afterlife, and she's like, you know what? I'm done with gods. Nope, I'm just resting. I'm sorry, Chaz. It's been nice, but no. I am very tired.
No, that's fine. We'll come visit. You don't.
Thank you.
I didn't ask. It's fine. You don't have to come. These people are forcing themselves into godhood. You don't have to. It's not a requirement, Haley Huang.
Cool. I'm gonna go kiss my immortal wife now.
Cool.
Oh yeah, one more thing. Speaking of which, they do have a biological kid because the one favor that Haley asked besides mailing food back and then taking the trash back when the next time Charlie comes back to her time was, hey, so I'm sterile. Could you make it so that I'm not that for like a day?
Sure.
Thank you. And then they have a nice daughter, and then should they decide to have another.
Charlie shows up, has the coffee, and then Haley's like, so while you're here, is it because
our daughter wants another sibling?
Snaps fingers. Fine.
All right, game up. God. This is a strange use of this is not a hard use of.
I want
powers.
you to know, first of all, this isn't a difficult use of my powers, but it is. I mean, I guess I can't say it's a weird one. It's not like I'm the first god to make a sterile person produce offspring, but I do still feel like this is a strange use of my cosmic powers, nonetheless.
That's because talking about this is awkward.
Yes. Anyway, whatever. Sure.
Cool. Thanks.
You're welcome. Cool.
All right, but that's all the notes that I have.
Awesome. I figure I will give you all, I'm gonna give you guys 8 minutes to talk about that modern era barbecue, and then we head to the French dimension. So.
The barbecue.
The barbecue.
All right, who wants brats?
I do.
All right, there's one for Haley.
Oh yeah.
I'm always willing to try food, especially when it's homemade, because it means that a lot of effort was put into it.
Oh yeah. Okay, we'll get you one, Angie.
Oh, thank you.
Do you want sauerkraut with that, or just ketchup?
Maybe on the side. I'm willing to try it.
Yeah.
Angie for sure brought something French just because, and she definitely would. I'm trying to think of what that would be though. Maybe like homemade macaroons or something.
Oh, that would be great. That would be awesome.
I made cake pops, and they look like it's literally just it looks like cookie dough balls. Like the really rough and fluffy kind, just straight up dipped in frosting and calcified.
Oh, you guys gotta try Thorn's cake pops, but be careful. Where do you think this gut came from?
I have no clue. I don't even ask questions anymore. I just follow what the book tells me. So anyway, guys, enjoy. They're strawberry. And
this is real dangerous. Usually these things cost like $4. Usually one of these things costs like $4. I mean, like the macarons.
Well, they take a little bit longer. That's all.
Yeah.
What flavor are these?
Oh, well, that one is chocolate and cherry. This one is a lemon and vanilla cream. This one has an orange zest. I tried to make a few different flavors because I didn't know if anyone had any preferences. So, I just kind of did the best with what I had.
They look gorgeous.
Thank you.
Hey, kiddo, would you mind taking these 2 hamburgers over to Tommy and his lady pair?
And then they do.
And then they do. Yes.
And then they do.
Yeah.
Thorn's headphones died.
Oh no.
God, Juniper, at this point, he has been very happy to see you, but he's been distracted by the fact that there are 4 dogs here now.
Oh yes,
my
there
God.
are dogs.
There are so many dogs.
Because Sherbert is like this big old white like mutt mix.
Oh,
Definitely. And then Wafer is a purebred corgi.
Aww.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, Wafer's stupid.
And Darby, you said Hugo and Thorn have a golden retriever, and what was the other one?
a husky, just like
Oh,
a
husky.
Yeah.
Aw.
The quintessential
Poor little
family
Wafer's
dogs.
trying to keep up with
Mhm.
all the big boys.
Oh my God. I imagine Haley would be the one to like kind of sneak food to the dogs, be a little naughty little enabler, a naughty little enabler.
Oh my gosh.
Grit? No, grit.
Where are they having the
Just
barbecue? Which
one.
house are they having it at?
Hugo's house.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Hernandez
Angie
household.
for sure would have brought like a really, 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 really expensive bottle of wine.
Oh
Like,
yes, and they would
just
all.
as a
Nope.
courtesy for hosting.
There would be 4 empty bottles of wine by the end of that evening. 'Cause
Oh no.
yeah,
God.
they love wine at the Hernandez house as well.
Good
Oh
Lord.
man,
And
she did
Haley-
it in advance. She brought several.
Yeah.
Actually, no, she probably would bring several anyway. They're loaded. She
awesome.
doesn't care.
I
yeah.
prepared with
A
some
case.
sparkling grape juice for myself because I'm
Lovely.
responsible.
hmm
Oh, that's so
Sparkling grape
good.
juice
That's
is
actually
good.
very.
Haley brought her
Well,
Switch
I knew you'd
and
be
extra
proud of me.
controllers.
Actually, Lauren, I think it's okay for you to. Well, actually, I shouldn't be parent. That, it's just, I feel like puts her fingers over her mouth. I
Thorn
guess
goes like,
it's more of a
go
cultural thing."
on.
Yeah, she's like, I guess it's just more of a cultural thing. I remember my first taste of wine. I think when I was 11.
Dad,
You know,
Dad, come on.
uh,
Dad.
Guys,
Look
we
me
can
in
have
the
French
eyes.
dimension line. We can have French dimension wine.
I know, but like, it's illegal and.
No, it's not. That's right, Cammy. You do not know that Steven and Vivi have a vineyard in the French dimension. So
Oh my god, I have to have
Angie
French
can
dimension
bring
wine. I'm
can
French.
bring the Frenchest of wines.
Oh my god.
Okay, kiddo. You can
Like-
taste it, but you're not gonna have a full glass. That's the rule. You can appreciate wine, but you can't get drunk off of
I
it.
will
I'm
appreciate
going to pour
it.
you a little bit of it into this glass.
Yes,
Here, just
yes.
try a little bit.
Ooh,
This is how the French do.
I do be Frenchin today.
And like, like Angie would lean over and be like, "I remember my first taste of wine. It was terrible. Taste buds
And
are
then
very
Thorn's
different
like,
when you're younger."
oh, oh god, oh.
There it is.
There you
Oh,
go.
got it.
And she just nods like, "There it is."
See, it's an
You
acquired
gotta,
taste.
you gotta get
Um,
used to it. You gotta get used to it. Like just like.
Oh
with
no, no,
all-
I am used to it. I'm.
That sounds like somebody who's not used to it.
Hang on, just let me concentrate on the flavors.
You know what? I heard if you roll it around your mouth a little bit, you can
Yeah.
get that's how a real wine taster tastes wine.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Uh-huh.
And she's just like covering her mouth because she's trying not to laugh. at the
And he's
child.
and Thor's just trying to be a grown up, like he's finally old enough to be considered a grown up, and he's like, okay, I can handle this. Oh God, I can't handle this. This is so much. You have to. Don't let them know. Don't let them know.
This kid's gonna be a real party animal in college.
Oh, just tastes like rot. I mean, fermented.
Yes.
Yeah, fermented.
You can still
Sour
taste
Patch
that,
Kids.
It's okay.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah,
A
yeah.
little bit.
It's actually it has to do with your taste buds when you're younger. Your taste changes as you get older, which is why you get different affinities for different foods as you get older.
Oh, thank God! So this won't taste like this forever.
Yeah.
Although you might
As
have
your
a
taste
preference for
buds
a different
die.
type of drink.
Oh, fair enough. I hear cream soda's pretty good. I've never actually tried that before.
Oh, cream soda's awesome.
Juniper immediately pulling out a backpack. So my beautiful wife brought the fancy things. I however, have brought the cream soda.
Yes.
Oh my God!
Yeah, and she's like, and this is why
Juniper
we're
coming in
together.
clutch.
They drink cream soda while playing with the Switch. Like,
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, that's
excellent.
like
Now Thor, no drunk driving.
First of all, I
No,
don't
no
drive.
drunk
Second
Martin.
of all, I don't drunk. Third of all,
Third of all, you're catching this red shell.
third of all, don't. Oh,
Yeah,
God
yeah.
dang it!
I
Oh,
told ya.
yeah. Well, take my banana peel. You. Wow.
Nice try. You can't snipe me from back there.
Oh, you are too good with Toad,
I
dude.
am happy in 4th place because I know that's where I'm going to end up anyway.
Hugo's just like,
just
I am
happy
in the
to be
middle.
included.
Fine.
All right, we are running a little bit low on time here, so.
Yeah.
They have a pleasant barbecue.
They have
Yes.
a pleasant
Good family
barbecue, and it's
Lifelong
great.
friends.
Yay!
Yay!
All
And then they all burn to
Yay.
death.
And then they all burn to death.
They all die.
They don't
Was
all
that the
why
one
I
of
got
87?
That's why you have to have someone watching the grill.
Oh my god.
Fire.
Right. So, thank you everyone for all of that modern era content. Now it is time to move to the not modern era, the French dimension.
The French dimension.
Bonjour.
Alex's
gonna-
turn. So remember,
I am
everyone's gotta go back on mute. Alex, hello! And Queen can also stay off mute because she's Vivi.
Hello.
Hello.
So, the French dimension. I made a whole ass Google document about this. So, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the French dimension so that you can have some context before I get into the shenanigans of Steven and Vivi.
Yes.
So, the French dimension has fairly commonplace magic. It has 6 main gods worshipped in it, 3 sisters of matters of earthly importance, harvest, craft, and the hunt, and 3 brothers of more obscure matters, the sun, the moon, and the stars. So basically, magic is there, people are aware of it, and it's becoming less and less practiced, mostly within like old monasteries and castles around the world, with more advanced steampunk, early clockpunk technology overtaking it, and the vast majority of that technology is adapted from technology the Martians left behind when they invaded England at the eve of the 19th century. That's just the thing that happened. Yeah, no, it's fine. What? No, that's just a footnote
There's
in
just
French history.
Martians,
They
don't
didn't
worry
get
about
invaded.
it.
They're just the fucking Martians. They invaded, and then they died because they all got sick. And then the French took their stuff and made a new steampunk metropolis. Yeah, so, like, there was a huge technological boom. There's, like, trans tubes, boats, giant cannons that shoot bullet-shaped ships into space. So space travel is more frequent. People go to the moon and back on them. They exiled the rich to Mercury because the rich assholes left over from the French Revolution were being assholes. Were like, you get your own planet. You get the stinky planet. And they shot them all to Mercury. So there's a lot of steampunk technology, there's some magic, and everyone is just totally okay with this. Which is why Steven and Vivi tend to a vineyard, crap happens around them, like a kraken could invade, and they're like, oh, you know, same as usual, slightly eventful Thursday. Yeah. They live and work on a vineyard in the Champagne region of France, which is away from the hustle and bustle of most major cities. They specialize, obviously, in Champagne, since it's the Champagne region. Champagne de Marguerite is their specialty. Massive success. Really good. I can imagine, like, word of the Champagne being very good gets back to the Awakened. They get letters, hey, can you send me some of that wine? Steven writes back, if you pay me. You gotta get that grind set. Gotta run a business, man.
Charlie's like, is it okay for me to bring in money from a different dimension? Is that gonna like fuck with the economy?
You can take it to the exchange.
Charlie has to collect all of the awakened orders like it's the fucking scholastic book club at school. Take everyone's envelopes, bring them to the exchange all the money, come back.
Now,
Split says
like,
Vinny
after
sends
that-
asking price and a 40% tip.
Excellent, of course. Now, after the big theater fire, Vivi's reputation was basically unchanged. Everyone realized, yeah, she had nothing really to do with this. She was just there. So she continues work as an actress when she's not busy on the vineyard. She is one of the first actresses to get experimental with this newfangled motion picture technology. Probably it'll never catch on, though. Just, something cool to do. Steven, on the other hand, he's more of a recluse. He doesn't deal with people well, and he's kind of aware of that at this point, so he just hangs on back at the vineyard, unless he does take trips to far-off regions, up to and including the moon, for business purposes. None of it bothers him. And then Charlie and Oz do checkups, and they just casually recount, oh, I went to the moon, there was a kraken, we got rid of it. And it's just...
The kraken.
Yes.
You got rid of the kraken.
We
How?
got rid of it.
With what? How?
With a lot of determination.
Okay.
What, like the hot?
Charlie just downs her glass of wine, shaking.
Incredible.
Seem very hung up on this kraken thing.
Charlie spends a truly stupid amount of time in the fucking bed just being like, I don't know why you bothered giving Stephen Cutter a magical sword to kill me. He's doing a much better job with his day-to-day life!
Yeah. So basically, Twitter is more or less canon to what Steven is up to after Discord Murder Party. There's just panicked tweets, I'm sorry, did you say the moon? How? And he just tweets back a picture of this gigantic gun.
What?
It's the gun that shoots you into space.
What, like you don't have one?
I live in a van.
Okay, but when you didn't live in a van, did you not have one?
No! I had student loans to deal with. Amazing.
Oh.
God. So these two are just living their lives, and they just routinely give Charlie an aneurysm.
Yeah. I'm sorry, is that the Eiffel Tower burning behind you? Yes.
Why is it burning?
I don't know.
Because it's on fire.
Did you do that?
No.
No.
Did?
I don't know, I wasn't there.
We were too busy blinking one.
You were there enough for it to be in the picture!
Our backs were turned.
We weren't looking at it.
Charlie downs another glass of wine. So, speaking of these two giving Charlie an aneurysm, would you like to talk about what happens after they die?
Quick thing before that, though.
Okay.
To continue on the trend of the couples, they get multiple workers that help out around the vineyard because two people, one of which has had no prior vineyard experience, running a whole ass vineyard is not particularly realistic. They also get 3 dogs. The dogs also help run the vineyard because they're good working boys.
Mm-hmm.
And then later they have one son named Emil. So I imagine when Vivi asks, Steven, what the hell happened? He's completely honest, up to and including everything about what happened in Discord Murder Party. And Vivi just stares in awe for like a couple days trying to process this. And then she just goes, okay.
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 I mean, the Kraken I can deal with, but like you were pulled into a different dimension with another, even more French version of you? What? And now he's a chair?
He's a chair.
Yeah.
So
And
where
then-
is the chair?
In a different dimension.
Okay.
Okay. And then later on, they have one son His name is Emil. They tell him about the Discord murder party story, and he has zero interest in it whatsoever. He just does not give a shit.
Like Charlie
Sure, Dad.
shows up, an actual god, and she's just like, hey, don't be. I'm a god. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eh.
Yeah, like he focuses all his life on art collecting, and then Charlie tries to show up. Oh, that's really nice art. I know.
No.
That means he likes you.
The Cutter family is going to murder Charlie. Ebony Dimension Way Reed.
Speaking of murdering Charlie, Darkness, Dementia, Raven, Way Reed. Yeah. After they die, after the big reunion, there's the whole, no, fuck it, we're not going to the afterlife, we're gonna become gods. And Steven's just like, okay.
And Charlie's like, wait, are you sure? You don't have to. I mean, Steven, you don't remember this. I'm not telling you you have to become a god.
Mr. Reed said we were going to.
Turns to Vincent.
Now, if he wants to kill gods, he is fully of his own volition able to kill gods.
I am very
Steven,
good
does that sound like fun?
Yes.
Charlie's like,
Well,
I'm
I'm
very good
on
at
board.
Okay.
I mean, he's good at it.
he's good at it. Charlie,
Just make sure, we'll make sure he has mandated breaks.
so they become gods, and now if they weren't headaches before, they're now even more headaches because they're part of Charlie's pantheon.
And you know what? I think we should pay him just to make sure that it's an even amount. It's like, it's not a command, he's being paid for it.
Alex, you were saying?
I was saying, eventually, there's somewhere down the line, there's just this scream throughout the God multiverse. It's the Breakers of Gods! Camera pans over just a very pleasant man and his bubbly French wife.
Hello.
Breakers of gods.
Yeah. Charlie comes in to check on them. I accidentally took over hell.
Another one!
Oh, this happened before?
We thought we could use it as a base of operations.
Sure. Fine, you can have hell. Fine. Vincent did ask Lucy to keep the seat warm. I guess it's good that it's being kept for somebody. Cammy is, I think, raising her hand.
I am raising my hand. What the fuck is up with these people and their bubbly French wives?
The DMP cast has a type.
The DMP cast is a type.
That also includes blondes.
Yeah.
Listen, former
Oi.
serial killers and bubbly French wives is a match made in heaven.
Yes.
If it's not French, it's blonde. If it's not blonde, it's redheads.
Oi.
I can't. I'm sorry. When you said that, and that's when it suddenly clicked for me. Oh, they're the same. It's the same couple.
Oh.
Is there anything else you would like to add with your remaining minute?
I think we have established the chaos well enough.
Yes, this is very well established. Very good. Alright, well, I guess now I get to try to talk about Charlie and cover some loose ends. I will not be discussing Chaos Fan because that's its own bullshit. But I should talk about stuff like, okay, so first of all, Francis. Charlie dropped off Francis, so Francis never fucking met her. Francis is fine. He went and hit, she saved him from his death, and he went off and hit on more people. At one point, she and Oz are, in that general area doing something else stupid, and Francis spots her from across, a crowd, and he's like, oh, and, immediately comes over to her, like, oh no, covers me, we have to go, it's my ex, we have to leave. So that's a whole dumb thing. Morgan. So Morgan is no longer dead because, as I've mentioned before, once Cassie became a god, she stopped existing as a person. So Morgan's not dead. But so Morgan, went to school like a normal ass person, and then there he was just sitting, out on the lawn at Yale minding his own fucking business, and suddenly here's the fucking cucaracha horn and the sound of like this van coming in, and then just suddenly comes to a stop. Charlie leaps out of the van, walks up, picks him up by the collar, and she's just like, I'm your ex from a different dimension. You ruined my life. I killed you. It was horrible. Slaps him across the face. Get your shit together. Go to therapy. And before he can say anything, she stomps back, gets in the car, and flips him off as they drive away. Oz is just like, fuck you! And Morgan presumably did go to therapy. And he was probably still kind of a dick, but he didn't ruin any poor woman's life. So, and still helpfully drew this very hot picture of Morgan looking really confused. So yes, that happens with Morgan. For side B stuff, Charlie did undo all the bad endings for side B. So, nobody's dying horribly anymore. She probably does check up on all of them to kind of give them, because side B would remember the games. They would remember how they ended. It's just that everything else would suddenly shift. So they have like kind of two memories going on. Charlie just shows up like, hey, so, let me explain what happened. This also means Rain isn't dead anymore. Good for her. Rain's wish was actually to eventually, her wish was to just be a normal woman, be considered beautiful by someone and start a family. So, Rain got to meet somebody nice and have a family, and eventually Charlie comes to see her, like, years later, and she's just like, hey! And they have a nice conversation, and it's nice. They do not get back together because Charlie's a very different person now, so it would be really weird to get back with Rain. But, they do, end on a good note. So that's good. And other than that, like I said, she visits all of the Awakened with relative consistency, makes sure they're all okay, makes sure nobody dies too early. She's a very busy woman. She's got a lot of shit to do. Yeah, and I think we've covered everyone who is ascending. As for what actually happens with Charlie and Oz, that's a Chaos Van problem. Do you have anything you want to talk about for Oz's epilogue, Alex?
As soon as Charlie gets her own method of transportation and the Awakened descent, he's fucking out.
He's like, I'm out, bye.
Yeah.
Does not matter.
But I thought we had a connection. Why would you think that?
Yeah, no, yes, once the Ascension is very much you're getting in Charlie's van, you're not getting in Oz's van. He could barely stand shuttling Vincent's soul back to his body. Just cannot stand that shit. I'm sure he's just like, we could just leave him. No!
No. Listen, we could throw him into a rock. The rock can't die.
No, I don't want to throw him into a rock. I don't want to be married to a rock.
But consider, I do want to throw him into a rock.
No.
You never consider what I want.
Oh no, you poor thing. Nobody ever does what the God of Chaos wants. They get along really well. He's helping the children.
He's helping the children.
He's helping the children.
We cannot explain to you.
We can't explain that to you. It's just trust me. It's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I think that covers all the stuff. So I think we are now open for open shenanigans, probably also for answering questions, 'cause we've got like 20 minutes, so...
Wee!
Oh, right! Wait, Doc, do you want to expand on Doc, or are we leaving him alone?
Motherfucker, Doc went through so much suffering to get the fuck out, and here you are being like, well, what did Doc do after that? Leave him the fuck alone, Jesus! There's no way to look at Doc and just bring him back for a reunion that doesn't make someone look like an asshole, and I think we help him not to be assholes, so I guess we're leaving Doc the fuck alone.
I was just trying to ask you about your OCs, because you like being asked about your OCs! Oh my god!
How dare you?
Music is way too
How dare
fast.
you ask me about my OCs? You have found the one of my million OCs that should be left alone.
Wait, do you want to talk about yours? You slap Doc out of my hands. No, and I'm just like single tear as the ice cream splatters upon the floor.
So it's true.
I threw it
Miguel
on
Cuddy
the
is made of
ground.
ice cream.
Threw it on the ground.
Man of many characters. With Steven Pola, I'm more worried about the space octopus on Charlie. What?
Yeah, probably.
Oh yeah, ask about all the crazy stuff. Well, I'd be more
Yeah,
worried about
yeah,
the
yeah,
space
yeah.
octopus.
What?
This is a Tom's
Yeah.
reference.
There's a sketch where a dude is completely unconcerned about a giant hole in the middle of his kitchen, and then like finishes off by saying, "I'd be more worried about the space octopus."
I
The octopus
see.
like literally drag someone into the hole.
Direct bait
Wonderful.
and switch, yeah.
God, what was the OT3 wedding like? I gotta know. It was really cute, but it was also, like, really private. Like, it was just, like, Charlie, the three of them, you know, the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I don't... Oz would technically be there by virtue of
by
being
that point,
his
wouldn't he?
ride, or being her
was that?
ride, but I don't even know if Oz attended. The van was out in the parking lot, and Oz soaked in the van until it was gone.
Fucking Percy would be like around by that point, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Percy's for sure invited.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Actually,
Fucking,
wait.
But
Vincent gets back, like, 1920, 5 years. It's 1925. Percy couldn't come, because he'd be, like... I don't think Percy would
well.
even be born then.
No,
Oh.
yeah, 1930. Yeah.
oh, word. Yeah, nope.
Yeah.
Unless
Unfortunate.
you want to invite this fucking infant to a wedding.
No.
Hey,
No.
your baby's coming to my wedding
Yeah.
because
We're
I
going
don't
to
get the-
take this baby away from the farm and put it in
He'll
the
remember this. Don't
Ranch, you
worry.
motherfuckers.
Charlie's
We're gonna
like,
take this baby away from the ranch, and then we're gonna take it away.
But yeah, no, it'll be like a very small wedding. No one would really know about it because who do you tell in a very Christian town that you're going to marry a second wife?
not only a second wife, a pagan god second wife.
Yeah, we don't talk about that part.
Yeah.
All that
I
much.
don't-
Like we'll talk about it with certain people.
Like, I don't even know who officiated it. Charlie probably got one of her god friends to officiate it.
Odin Allfather.
This is making me think of
He needs
stupid
those
wedding
scans.
shenanigans now.
Charlie's like, listen, I will get you the scans. You just have to do me an eensy-weensy tiny little favor.
You'll
get me the
scans.
Yes! I will work
What do you
this
need?
temp office job. Oh my god! What do you need? Genuinely, does Oz come to the wedding? I'm actually really curious.
No!
Absolutely, I didn't think so. I was like, doesn't... He,
You're fucking a human. That's gross.
You're gross. Get out of here.
I
Let's just make me
will!
think of- Let's just make you think of everybody's weddings, and I'm like, aw, I'm sorry.
God.
There's so many weddings.
There's
so many weddings.
I will say one final detail with Charlie's wedding band is a mixture of Vincent's and Abby's.
Aw.
Yeah.
Just
It's some real cute shit.
Group
Fucking
Alloys?
like Abby and Vinny had the talk with each other before. 'Cause Abby brought it up and she was nervous. And then Vinny was just like, "All right,
I'm gonna go
have a
see
ring
about
made.
getting that made.
And then they're just like sitting there and they're both very awkward, and this is the only time they've ever been nervous. They're like, I just, you're a god, so we get, if you, maybe
We
marriage
get
isn't
it
really
if
a
like this is
thing.
like kind of above what you do, or like you're above this. Like
a
we
breeze of
totally get it.
comfort.
But we've been kind of doing this for like a few years
And the
now,
kids are already
and like
calling you mom, and
kids
like,
are already calling you mom, and just look, I'm just fucking takes out the small box from the jacket, puts it in front of her. Like,
and Charlie's just like, oh my god, you guys are proposing to me. Big ol' happy tears. Oh my god.
God.
I didn't think I'd ever get married.
Aw.
Oh.
Dude, bro. Remember the discussion we had about like Angie and Junior's discussion about having kids? Where it was like basically someone else brought it up and they were like, like collectively looking at each other like, do we want kids?
God.
Because they take so long, like to be comforted.
God, I'm thinking about the Reed wedding, I guess. Charlie no last name. Now also to some extent being a Reed, the Reed lineage
God.
And I'm just thinking about it. And it's just like it's really cute. Like it makes me
yeah,
God.
man.
Everyone
I
is a
just love
reed or a
them.
crane in DMP.
So let me slap down my age-old theory that everyone in DMP is either a reed or a crane. So here's my
This is goal.
What?
Actually,
tough.
you can smack this on call, like or on the oh wait, wrong picture. Those are the parents. But hold on, let me re-link the thing of just the comparison that I made between Angie and Valencia because they are related. I swear to God.
Oh.
That was my stop talking about Charlie
Oh.
alarm, but I already stopped.
Like,
So
look at them. They have to be like related, right? Okay.
I mean,
Same booba.
They got the
I was
same
gonna say
thing.
same hair, but
I suppose it does still need to be pointed out that one is from another dimension entirely.
Yes, but
so is,
Not
but
as
so
much.
No, it
is
doesn't. It's
Ezra.
not important.
But so is Ezra. It's possible.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
Ezra's
no.
from this dimension. He just hopped that one. Like,
which means dimension hopping is a thing, which means my theory
Yep.
still
Which means
stands.
it's possible.
Yeah.
I mean,
You think
Yeah.
the Awakened are the only people to hop dimensions?
yeah, like technically, that's just a complicated thing. It's just like
It is a
you
very
kind of
complicated theory,
you
and
kind of
me
like the
just being
string
silly.
on your cork board like goes and it makes some sense for a moment, and then it goes to another cork board entirely, and then up onto the ceiling, and it's just like, where are you going? Like,
Who's
dimensions.
gonna die?
Cammy, you're out here trying to talk about the mail.
Hey,
Let's
hey!
talk about the mail. Let's talk about the mail. You want to talk about the mail?
For a second.
I really want to talk
Yes.
about the bail.
I just think they're both cute, and also this, if anything, it doesn't prove. If anything, it does prove is that Ezra and Juniper have a type.
True.
God.
okay, getting off this topic. Question: How
Yes,
does it
I
take for Grace
apologize.
Garden to find the Awakened that are alive in her time?
That is a very good question. I think how I imagined it is that Vincent found her. Like,
Yeah.
he wrote to her and they eventually organized a meetup of sorts. Grace was in her sort of like early 30s when she found Percy. She was very old. I think she was like, what, in her mid 70s when she found Juniper.
Oh.
And then
Her son did all
Doc,
this,
she
right?
was an age, I don't know. But yeah, I think Dominic is like in his 50s when he reaches out to the other Awakened. They're all just old.
They're all
Yeah,
so
she has a-
old.
He has a good time. Her lifelong friends, Percy. They're rocking chair buddies.
Aw.
Hell yeah.
I'm just imagining these two old coots just like on a porch somewhere.
Knitting, like probably knitting.
Yeah.
One thing we forgot to mention that was I was talking with Queen about like how Dominic would meet Haley and give her like a copy of one of Grace's books. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny.
Old Scotch dude.
Given how Helena was a model, I feel like one of Percy's children would probably be like, "Hey, you might want to look at this," and like maybe give like a magazine or something for inspiration or reference or something.
Aww.
Aww.
I can see it being Oliver.
Oh. That's
I'm
beautiful.
sorry. Your dad was who? Percy Blackwood. Oh, okay.
Percy Blackwood, sir.
Excuse me? What did you call me? What did you call me?
I'm sorry. Please don't hurt me.
God.
Oliver's just not very bright. Oliver.
We do our That's another thing he got from his father.
Oliver just.
What was Grace's kid's name again?
Dominic.
Dominic, right. Cool. You were thinking it'd be like a Scottish derby?
Yeah, exactly that. So it's like higher pitch when he's a kid, but yeah, exactly that when he's an adult.
Cool. That's fun.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Excellent.
Good stuff.
Good
A
quality.
good journalist dude.
It's
just like. Sorry, it's just like they get to like the god thing, and he's just got this whole notebook thing, and everyone's like, "Yeah, you're Grace's son."
Yeah.
Yeah, you're Grace's son.
I know.
I'm aware.
I'm aware.
I'm aware.
I'm aware.
So right, you impressed yet?
I'm proud.
Someone's like, yeah, that's Grace's child.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that checks out.
It stacks, yep.
God.
God, I'm just at the point that Dominic would like bring the kids and Grace to meet Juniper. They're part of the whiplash is her son's older than me. I was older than her last time we spoke. Wait a minute.
I was expecting like this little kid. No, this is like an old dude.
Like it like clicks in his brain. He's just like, oh wait a minute, time has passed.
Time has passed.
Grace, you ever get the feeling that these youngsters have higher expectations of us?
Every day. No, like at that point, Grace has white hair as well.
Yeah.
You know, considering the time, like it's possible that like Grace and you know Dominic could also be at the at that barbecue. You know, it's just supposed to be all the ones who can be there would probably be there. You know,
like Grace will have passed,
Maybe
but
even
if
Percy.
Dominic had found them at that point, then you could have invited him. Yeah.
Yeah, why not invite the descendants?
Mhm.
Yeah, I would definitely like at the very least like at that point by the time that Percy and Grace are like old and fucking like oh yeah we're just fucking living now. It's like Vincent's long dead.
Oh
Like-
yeah, no.
But like on the bright side, his children.
Right, some Reeds will be there.
Around. His kids are around.
His
Heck
kids
yeah.
are around, and the great thing about his family is that they're completely transparent with each other.
Mm.
So they already know about all of you.
Oh, good.
Oh, nice.
And they'll probably tell their kids about all of you. Like,
God, Vincent's the direct read kids have their stepmom is an actual god.
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Mom is an awesome mom.
I imagine Taylor has high expectations for everyone, and then Marshall is just like, oh, this is cool. These stories are real. Like I have to live with that every time it comes up.
Right.
I just want to know the reactions of all of the descendants and
So you're the one ruining my
spouses
Thanksgiving.
that Just when,
Yeah.
the reactions of all the spouses and descendants when they see this fucking van show up in their backyard.
Oh God, when the kids first saw the van, they didn't know what to think. They were very excited either way, and Oz was disgusted.
I just
Yeah,
imagine
little
Ebony looking at
humans.
this and being like, awesome!
I have been reminded. I don't know if this was a fan thing or if it was us talking about it. Like Thorin, basically since being one of the younger ones, meeting up with like some of the younger descendants and them all like looking through all the old stuff, all the old photos, and being like, "Wait a minute,
Wait a minute.
It's just God." And you know, all the big photo being passed down in generations, so you see different versions of the final photo. It's
Aw.
God. What were you doing in your 20s? I was playing death games.
I had to play death games during a formative part of my of my childhood.
God.
of my
I was
of my
paving the way
adulthood.
for postmodernism. Oh yeah, I'm playing death games.
That's why I was the only one who got this.
Sorry.
Yeah,
That's the
I was
that's
playing death games.
that's the reason I was the only one that did the snip.
Turns
Wait,
out
you also
Percy-
use scissors in your art?
I mean, Valencia was also 19, as was Ezra.
Okay, but I'm a depressed college kid.
Listen,
as was Ezra.
there were people who chose to forget.
Yeah.
Just the pain specifically and the trauma.
Right.
God, Charlie just I was like, every time anyone asks anything of Charlie and she gets a little like, oh my god, they're like, remember that time you put us in horrible death games? And Charlie's just like
Sweetheart,
You
I
died?
know you're not about to guilt me of all people.
I'm just like,
Okay.
remember that time you stole my husband and made him save you? He's my husband too!
She uses that a lot too. She like,
God.
Okay, but question: how would Charlie react if one of the Awakened asks them to pick up the children and fly them like a bird?
I mean, depending on the child, here's the thing: if they get too big, she can't do it.
I guess I was thinking more like, is that like, oh no, I'm remembering Vietnam, or oh, of course.
Oh, she just think, oh, of course, like that doesn't. She doesn't worry about like, you know. She's like, I'm a bird, sweet. She isn't really freaked out about her bird of God state anymore. She's just like, yeah, okay. Though it might be like, fly them like an airplane. Charlie stares at the child who is now like who is like, you know, 5, 6. I cannot lift this child. Once
They are
they hit
too
like
big.
4 years old, it's like this kid is already coming up to like chest.
This kid's coming at the chest level.
Emil, after not being airplaned, so much for being a god.
Don't you get like super strength when you're like a bird thing? Can't you just like use that?
Charlie's like,
Fly
I need you to
away.
understand. That is on my Chaos Fan playlist.
Yay.
Does Charlie
It's
just
very funny.
Does Charlie just have like hollow bones when she's a bird thing, so she can't even pick up large children?
No, it's
Oh
not,
my
no,
God.
it's just that Charlie's just weak. That's that. Why
She's
can't
just
she lift
skinny.
the kids? Because it's funny.
because it's so
you're weak.
funny.
Answer.
God.
Would Charlie be asked to babysit the kids every once in a while? Charlie babysits every kid all the time. Whenever the parents are like, we want a break, they have a babysitter on dial, and that
Oh,
is
so
one of the
good.
big things that's like, if Charlie's like, I'm kind of busy, I'm like fighting a god, and they're like, yeah, but you can come once you're done with that, and we will you can technically come once you're done with that. For you, it could be months, but you'll still be here to babysit my kids so we can go on our date, right? And Charlie's like, I remember that time when you literally tore me into ribbons. Yes, I'll be there.
I will say, Angie would never do that.
Yeah, I don't think
Haley
Christy
wouldn't
You
do
have
would
the
do
money
that
to
either.
afford babysitters, it's fine.
Haley wouldn't do that either because also Charlie would be a not good parent.
The Blackwoods literally have the help
She's
right
actually
now.
good with kids. I'll have
She's
you know.
actually great with kids.
She's good with the kids.
Like, how dare you say that about my wife? Like, like, what the fuck? I'm sitting right here.
That's what movie you're talking about.
Listen, in show, Charlie, in show, Murder God is not a good parent. Charlie's dealt with her shit. She's actually pretty good with kids.
But did Haley see any of that? No.
Well, I could give you a first-hand account. She was great with Taylor and Marshall.
You're dead.
I will write you a letter.
Oh my god.
Do not tempt me. I learned to read and write on my own.
We'll make this like fucking
learned
Dragon
to
Ball,
read
where
and
every millennia or something you can write you can just visit down from heaven and just
God, I could just imagine Vincent like writing in like Will or something. By the way, my god wife is good with kids.
Haley.
Haley specifically.
like fucking going down in like the specialized packages for everybody in Haley's, you know, she got the whole fund for her, like everything for college, everything that she needs for like anything that she wants, and just like one little handwritten letter, just like, hey, I hope you're doing okay, I hope things are going well, be sure to stay strong, and by the way, my fucking wife is great with kids, okay?
How fucking dare you?
How dare you? Watch your fucking mouth. Can't wait to see you again.
I like to imagine like freaking how dare you comes when she first gets the letter and she does not know what the heck what the heck he's talking about.
Yeah, it's where it would be like the little like introductory like on the front of the letter where it's just like to Haley. No, instead it's how dare you.
My wife is great with kids, thank you very much. What are you talking about, Vincent?
She raised Marshall and Taylor.
Did like she helped quite a bit.
She's the cool, you know, she's the cool aunt that, you know, lets you do all the dumb shit as a middle schooler, and then when you're sitting there laying in your own cringiness going, you can see everything, why didn't you stop me? And Charlie's just like, because then you wouldn't have learned a lesson.
Like literally they started by calling her auntie and then they chose to start calling her mom. Like that is canon. That is straight. They sat her down and went, "Look, we know you're doing this whole thing with our we know you're fucking our parents, okay?"
We know you're fucking our parents. I was like, stop, Taylor, don't say no.
Stop.
We know.
Jesus Christ, do you have no tact? I don't need tact, okay? I need the truth.
They think they're being coy. They're not.
No, I get it. I just don't want to think about it.
Wait. It's like, I'm being about as subtle as you guys are when you're in the bedroom.
They have magic specifically for that. Thank you very much.
They do. So the reason Taylor's like, it's like there were times whenever Auntie Charlie shows up, I suddenly just cannot think about the existence of my parents' bedroom. Like, it just slides from my mind like oil and water. And then, like, she happens to
fucking jarring, okay?
She happens to spot Abby kiss Charlie. Like, they think they're being subtle. And she's
Abby
like,
kiss.
Now they're doing a little bit more than kiss.
Okay, well, on that note, it's
look
2 minutes.
Look and call.
Anyway, it's 2 minutes after 11. This has been a fun stream. Thank you everyone for joining us.
Yay.
Next Crimes Time live stream will be more Deltarune, and then next Sunday I'll probably do an art stream. I'll just vibe with people. Maybe we'll talk more DMP shit. I don't know. It's just a chill art stream. Anything could happen. Tomorrow is the Between over on Crit Failsafe. I believe Tuesday. You're still doing streams on Tuesdays, Scott?
What's up?
Are you doing I'm just asking, does anyone have any streams they want to hype while we're here?
Yes.
Yes.
Next Friday is Penguin Romper.
There we go. What
Penguin
time?
You
Romper.
fucker.
Plug time.
What time is Penguin Rampa?
Oh, 9 o'clock my time, which I think is like 4 CST. Yeah.
Cool.
Tune in
Solid.
for the daily MOTI stream at
Yeah.
1 Central.
There you go.
Woo!
So,
There you go.
Also-
You mentioned.
sorry.
No, go.
Sometime this week, I'll be releasing my latest song, which is a cover of the Song of Elturel from Descent into Avernus.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Yay!
Tune in next Sunday for Roar of DDD on my channel from Kirby and the Forgotten
Yeah.
Land.
Hell yeah.
Rawr.
Sometime this week I'll be continuing Arcade Spirits. You can check that on my channel of the same name, Bearton Blur, if you want.
Alright.
Which-
Cool.
Eventually I'll release new music. It's getting done. You'll be updated.
And
Oh, and MGH is Friday.
yeah. I fucking Crit Failsafe as two wonderful streams going on. I'm in the every Friday one at like 9 p.m. EST. NGH, it's a World War I game. It's really good. Please watch it.
Nice.
Alright, I think that's it. Thank you everyone for joining us for what is officially the final DMP stream. Which feels a little wild now that it's come out of my mouth, even though it's been dead for multiple months. Still,
Can't prove that. No evidence.
thank you everyone for joining us. Love you all very much. We'll see you all next time. Love you all. Bye. 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 Bye.
Goodbye,
Bye. Bye.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.